who had off-season shoulder surgery, has been cleared to start practicing. The Raiders today starting their first full training camp under new coach Josh McDaniels. Star receiver Devontae Adams among the other new faces in Vegas. The acquisition of Adams certainly making the Raiders offense even better, but they won't be a Super Bowl contender this season, believes ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
They're the third best team in the division because of their secondary. They got a lot better with Chandler Jones, Max Crosby. Best way to help a secondary is the pass rush. They added Rocky Sin, but Greeny, they only had 6 interceptions a year ago, worst in the NFL. And you think about that division and Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, obviously Patrick Mahomes. Their vulnerability is a bad matchup in the division.
Mike Tannenbaum on Get Up. NBA Hornets restricted free agent Miles Bridges pleaded not guilty to felony domestic violence charges during his arraignment today. Bridges is accused of assaulting his girlfriend in front of their 2 children last month.
If you need solid hires fast, you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates from the same place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. From Radio Row, SEC Football Media Days, Day 3. Let us not waste any time. Peter Burns, SEC Network, joins us on site as we push off from the dock here. How are you, dude?
How many cities are you in now? Like when I like want to be called like an OG of the Matt Moscona Show, or like when it was just little old Baton Rouge, and now it's like 47 cities or something like that.
You are totes an OG.
Oh yeah,
not 47. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and maybe a few more that might be interesting.
Rightfully so.
Well, let's have you call them on our behalf.
Matt Moscona, you let me know. No one's taking my phone call after I've been wearing this mustache all week long. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Actually, Amanda Brooks put me up to not even mentioning the mustache while you were here.
Let's not. Trust me. The amount of family members I have in Port Allen and Baton Rouge that have reached out just going, you have besmirched the Burns name with this mustache. It's kind of shocking.
Why the pushback on the mustache?
I don't know. I mean, again,
I think you wear it well.
I don't know. I can't tell if you're trolling me right now because it looks so bad that people want me to continue with this ruse. But I'm having some fun, man.
I'm watching Matt Carpenter with the Yankees wear a mustache right now, and I feel like I'm looking at Don Mattingly turning back the clock.
That's all.
I'm fine with you.
I feel like I'm a middle reliever with the Montreal Expos right now. Is that fair?
Peter Burns is here.
Hey.
It is SEC Football Media Days.
We're not talking football. I guarantee every time you and I get together, like by this time on day 3, you're just like, it's mustache and all kinds of crazy talk.
I like your jacket.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What kind of jacket is that?
I have no idea.
What kind of shirt is that?
I have no idea.
What kind of shoes are those? Who was your favorite person to talk to this week?
I will tell you that. And Mike Wright. I would have not had Mike Wright, the Vanderbilt quarterback, on my bingo card as like, who could you not wait to talk to? But really? I don't know if you got a chance to talk to this cat, and he was awesome. And I'm just like, I didn't know how dialed in I would be on Vandy football this year. I mean, obviously, Clark Lee's trying to rebuild that program in Nashville. But I walked away, and I was like, holy hell, I'm going to pull for that kid. Now, and I wasn't the only person, and because I think he understood, listen, that's a big road to hoe. I was downstairs when Stetson Bennett walked in, and I hadn't seen a reaction like that since Manziel was
from
over
the
at
fans?
Yeah,
Okay.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you've got Bryce Young walking in, Heisman Trophy winner, Will Anderson, all these great players, and it was a rock star mentality. And I was just so fascinated by that because Stetson never really had his moment to shine outside of the Pappy Van Winkle interview that he did at Good Morning America, and that's going to be a fascinating story to watch.
It's wild because last year we were here talking to JT Daniels.
Right.
No one was talking about Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
It was JT Daniels' team. And then JT Daniels unfortunately gets injured. Now he's at West Virginia, and Stetson's a national championship.
The butterfly effect of so many things is just it's crazy. And that's why, again, so many people have asked me, like, what do you think about the LSU quarterback situation? I'm like, it's going to be fascinating to see, hey, Who goes? Is anybody going? Is Walker going to redshirt? Is it Nuss? Is it ends up being the OG Miles Brennan who got into school here at 05, right? I mean,
you can use this.
Yes.
Miles Brennan committed to Les Miles and Cam Cameron.
Part of me thinks that you're telling me a joke, but I don't think that's the case.
He committed to Les Miles and Cam Cameron.
It's out of control.
I know. Where did your travels take you this summer? Let's talk about fun stuff.
We went to Bald Head Island, which was really fun.
Where's that?
Which is right off the southeastern tip of North Carolina. And I'd never been there, so I got an opportunity to call a PGA Tour event this year, which is really cool. And I told my wife, I was like, I'll be gone for an extra 5 days, but you book the vacation wherever you want to go. She's like, done. Because my 2.5-year-old son is obsessed with golf carts. Obsessed with golf carts. Like Disney World, nope, we'd rather see a golf cart. And so it's an island off of North Carolina where you have to take a ferry to. There's no cars allowed. So we get there, and he is just in hog heaven. And you know how that is, man. Like, you see your son, like, same thing with Drew and all that stuff. Like, when they get locked into something as a dad, you're just like, this is so cool.
I love it.
But we are having this, like,
Tiger.
We are having this blood and Crips type feud in my family because now the kids at 2.5 and 4.5 are getting old enough to where it's like, LSU, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, you're at LSU, and then I bought an LSU pennant, okay, from like 1971 Sugar Bowl over at Omaha this year at a little card shop right at Rosenblatt. I had it shipped to the house. I was like, this is going to look perfect in Thomas's room, okay? Put it up there in the wall. Right before I left, I saw that it was in my office. I go, babe, what are you doing? Now, for those you know, of course, my wife is a diehard Alabama fan.
Yes.
And I was like, sweetheart, what's going on? She goes, well, we don't put LSU or Alabama stuff in your daughter's room. Why would we do it in your son's room? And I'm like, listen, my daughter can go anywhere she wants to go to school. I don't care. But my son is not allowed to go to certain places. Like, we are drawing that line right there. I was like, let me have that moment. Let me have that, like, him calling Baton Rouge. Which, by the way, I saw Garth. I did get a chance to see that.
Oh, but
in Charlotte.
In Charlotte, not in Baton Rouge.
And, like, part of me, like, it was like this religious experience. And then part of me was so upset at the same time that I did not call you and go, Matt, I'm sleeping at the house. I'm rolling with you. We're going to go see Garth in Tiger Stadium. Because I'm like, it was awesome at 40,000. I cannot even imagine 120,000 when he hits the – seriously, look at this, goosebumps. I have goosebumps legitimately talking about it.
I wish you had called me. He literally yelled, "Is it time?"
Oh, and everybody knew.
Everybody knew. He just said, Baton Rouge, is it time?
Oh.
And then it went bonkers. I totally would have hosted. I would have hosted the whole Burns family.
I would have been. Well, you want like two of us.
No, you could have brought Bo and you could have brought Tiger.
We could have had a Burns draft. That was my favorite thing. So Tiger.
That's twice now said Tiger, and you're not even appreciating the reference.
Because I don't know if the listeners quite
Tiger
understand.
Joe. Jeaux.
Whenever all the LSU equipment room guys were great. That whenever we found out we were having a boy, that they set up a little 19, and they set up the whole like recruiting locker room, and it said Burns in the back of it, and it was awesome.
Oh, so cool.
And so when we found out it was going to be a boy, I posted the picture and I said Tiger Joe Burns.
Jeaux.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the amount of people that thought that I was psycho enough. And then looking back at it, I was like, hey, I got to be honest with you. I still think it's pretty damn cool.
It's kind of good. But Peter Burns, SEC Network. Okay, I know we have like a minute left with you because you got to go. At least give me a modicum of something football. Who finishes second in the East and the West?
That's a fantastic question, and I will give you $1,000 if we can actually figure it out. And because I don't know, because part of me wants to say I wake up in the morning and part of me thinks Tennessee, right? But I don't know about their defense. Part of me wants to see, if the offensive line is good enough at Kentucky over on that side. Spencer Rattler, is he going to be worth the damn? I have no idea, but I would say all those three could be second in the East. On the other side, you could tell me any team not in Alabama is the 7th best team in the SEC West, and there would be no shock.
I know.
I'm stealing this line, and I hate to give him credit. Chris Storing said it on our show this morning, that the SEC West this year might be the most dominant conference, just top to bottom as far as parity, that we've seen since divisions have happened since, 1992. Because it feels like an NFL, like, everybody's like, 5-3 or 4-4. There might be that one breakthrough, which is Alabama, but outside of that, who the hell knows? And that's honestly kind of flipping fun.
Was Doring the guy from the TikTok? The thinking with my –
I can't confirm nor deny anything. Listen.
Was it him?
He's got priors. I don't even like talking about that guy.
Was it him?
I got to go. I love you.
All right, Peter Burns has to leave.
Bye.
Thank you. That's Peter Burns of the. I was turning my own mic down. Why do I keep doing that? I'm having so much trouble recognizing that I'm mic 2. I mean, mic 1 doesn't work. Is that right? What we decided? Yeah, the mic 1 input doesn't work. That's so bizarre. All right, it is after further review. We're on Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days, and we just have a whole boatload of really good stuff to get to over the course of the day today. And I am very excited to be here. It's been a full day. And by the way, I think the Florida guys are up here. So we're going to see if we can corral a Florida player here. But we were able to already, chat with you here today, our conversation with Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson, Arkansas defensive back Jalen Catalon, Georgia starting center Sedrick Van Pran from New Orleans, visited with him. Had a chance to sit down earlier today as well with Kentucky quarterback Will Levis. I did ask him about eating bananas with the peel still on and coffee with mayo or something like that as well. But all of that you will hear today. Just a ton of really good stuff. Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky all took their turn at the podium, so we got a lot to talk about. And I was fascinated to hear some of what Kirby Smart had to say today as the defending national champ. One of the sort of storylines that we've talked about a bit so far this week is the fact that Georgia's the defending national champ, but nobody here was actually talking about Georgia. That changed today, obviously, with Kirby Smart and Stetson Bennett and their crew rolling through. So we'll get to plenty of that over the course of the day today. Day 3 here, Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. You know the drill. It's gmfsmortgage.com. Tell you all the time also about their cash out refi as well. Maybe you want to do that home improvement project. A great way to do it is with a cash out refi at GMFS Mortgage. Use some of your home's equity maybe to do that bathroom renovation, that kitchen renovation. You want to put in a pool. Great way to do it. GMFS Mortgage can help. One of their local loan officers all over the state of Louisiana. When Eric and I bought our first home, we financed with GMFS. When we bought our second home, we financed. When we refied, we used GMFS, and you should as well. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We're here at Radio Row, and we always welcome you to watch us on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. If you're listening, we appreciate that greatly, but our view here is phenomenal. We were very fortunate to get the spot we did on Radio Row, where right behind us is a display of the Commander-in-Chief trophy. You've got the Alabama and Georgia displays from the national championship. All of the annual trophies, the major bowl game trophies are behind us as well. Just an awesome, awesome venue. I actually did take some time today to pop around and check out the Hall of Fame. And there's a lot, man. There's an awesome Tommy Moffitt display with concentrated on strength and conditioning. There's a Kevin Falk display downstairs as well as he's going into the College Football Hall of Fame. Joe Burrow has some appropriate recognition here on the second floor as well. So if you're in Atlanta, would highly recommend you come check out the College Football Hall of Fame. Just a really, really cool spot here. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll talk about the defending champs when we come back next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouses.com. Rouses.com. Hey, two things to let you know about with Rouse's. One, they have curbside delivery and pickup options. So if you can't physically get to Rouse's, no worries. Go to the app, the Rouse's app, or Rouse's.com. Select all your groceries. Boom, they'll deliver them to you. Or, just for convenience, they'll go shop for you. You pull up into one of the curbside takeaway spots, and they'll bring your groceries out to you. That's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. And y'all, this weekend, this Saturday, at Rouse's in Denham Springs, there is going to be an incredible whiskey tasting. We're talking about Van Winkle's, B-Tax. If you love whiskey like I do, these are some true unicorn bottles and a great opportunity to try them this weekend at the Rouse on Saturday at the Rouse's in Denham. That's Rouse's. See their social media for more info. It's Rouse's.
For over 53 years, customers have been heading to Happy Town for the Corval Toyota experience. Why? Because they choose to get an outstanding price and amazing customer service. Want the same and get treated like family? Then Corval Toyota in Opelousas is the dealership for you. Corval vehicles have been cruising around Acadiana for 5 decades. Corval Toyota is here to stay, and we want to keep you rolling. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf.
My life be like,
Live from the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, presented by Hudco Roofing. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
The defending champion Georgia Bulldogs took their turn today, and if you've been with us here throughout the week, one of the things that we have talked about is how odd it has been about how odd it was that it has been so quiet around Georgia. Defending champs, with obviously breaking through the way they did. Just very odd that they just hadn't been a giant part of the conversation here this week. That definitely changed today. Kirby Smart is sounding more and more and more and more like Nick Saban every time he speaks, even to the point of thanking the media, like Nick always does, and then proceeds to admonish the media for the job they do. But it was interesting today because so much of the conversation around Georgia has been, how do you handle success? You finally break through, you win your first national championship in 40 years, and now how do you handle it? Because your players aren't used to it. So you knew Kirby was going to get that question, but I thought his answer was pretty fascinating. And he did, by the way, in his answer, reference the 2004 LSU Tigers. And the reason that's relevant, of course, is because in 2003, LSU won its first national championship in 45 years. A lot of comps to Georgia this year, where you'd built the program, you'd been close, and then you finally break through, and then what happens? How do you handle it? Well, Kirby referenced that in this answer. Give a listen.
You know, I go back to my first year at LSU. People don't realize they were coming off a national title. I was not part of that, but we had a tremendous team coming back, like uber talented, a lot of draft picks. That was probably one of the toughest jobs that's ever been, because you had complacency. You had guys that were going to be first-round picks no matter how they played, off of how they played the year they won the national championship. And then you fast forward through the 4 that were able to win in Alabama. You have experience. Right now, our staff at Georgia, I have a tremendous staff, probably the best staff I've ever had since I've been there in terms of continuity. Okay, we had 4 coaches change, but the 4 new coaches we've gotten have really jumped on board, grabbed things. They know how to manage this situation. We've got 3 or 4 coaches who've done this before in terms of having won a championship and understanding what it takes to do it again. And it's really, every situation is different, because I've been on teams that had a lot of talent coming back, and I've had a lot of them that had to replace talent. We're having to replace a lot of really good football players. Great news is we've recruited well. We've got good football players. We need experience. But what I love about it is complacency is not the concern. Experience is the concern. And our kids will buy into that, and we'll get them ready in fall camp.
Complacency is not the concern. Experience is the concern. I heard that today, and I kind of rolled my eyes a little. But the more I thought about it, the more sense it actually makes. Georgia had 15 players drafted. We've got to have to remind ourselves. I mean, because, listen, if you're listening to the show, by the nature of the fact of where we are, you were probably watching the draft and paying attention through an LSU prism. And maybe you were aware of all the Georgia defenders that got drafted and everything like that, but maybe didn't pay attention to or remember the fact that Georgia had 15 players drafted. 15. That's a modern draft record in the current 7-round draft. It's a modern draft record for a school to have had 15 players taken. So, in many respects, he's right. It's not about complacency. It's about how do you replace 15 NFL draft picks year to year. So the question becomes for Georgia, you have recruited exceptionally well. You heard Kirby say it. We got good players. He does. I mean, look at their recruiting rankings. I mean, in the last half-decade, Georgia and Alabama have flip-flopped winning the recruiting national championship, if you want to say it that way, with the top-ranked recruiting class till A&M was number 1 this year. So Georgia has stockpiled great recruiting class on top of great recruiting class. So they're going to have fantastic players. Will the experience catch up with them? The tricky part is you don't have time to build. Georgia opens up with Oregon, and of course we know Bo Nix is at Oregon now, will likely be their starting quarterback. Bo Nix, Dan Lanning, who's the new Oregon head coach, was the Georgia defensive coordinator. So not only will he know Kirby, he will know the personnel exceptionally well. That game is right here in Atlanta. So, Oregon's got to come across the country. But that's going to be a tricky spot for Georgia week 1. Then they play Samford. Then they're at South Carolina. They'll face Spencer Rattler on the road in Columbia, where for some reason South Carolina just seems to play Georgia really well. They play Kent State. Then they're at Missouri. And it gets a little manageable. Auburn, Vandy, Florida at home, Tennessee at home, and then you finish at State, at Kentucky, and then home against Georgia Tech. But there's some tripwire early in the season for Georgia if the experience factor does come into play for the Bulldogs early. So that was one of the really interesting things that Kirby said today. It's not complacency, coming off of a title. It's experience. I remember back to the 2004 team that he referenced. That LSU team, of course. And you saw a lot of the guys who were juniors on that team, the guys that had signed in 2001, Michael Clayton, Marcus Spears, guys who had gone to the NFL draft. But back in 2004, you still had a hyper-talented football team, but you were young at quarterback. You had Marcus Randall, but you had a young Jamarcus Russell who led the comeback in the opener that year against Oregon State. You had a young Dwayne Bowe who was super talented, but he was young, a young Buster Davis. Again, you had the talent, but you didn't have the experience. And that team tripped up at Auburn and lost the 10-9 game on the leverage game. They had an amazing rally in 2004 on the road against Florida. But it's valid. I think it's a valid comp looking at this Georgia team and that 2004 LSU football team. One guy that Georgia does have who LSU fans are very familiar with, and we have been able to talk a good bit about, is Eric Gilbert. And Kirby Smart was asked today about Eric Gilbert and gave an update on the former LSU, now Georgia tight end.
Well, I expect him to give us an A effort every day. And when you give an A-grade effort and you got the talent that he has, it's a great combination. You know, he's a tremendous athlete. He's had to do some extra conditioning. He was a little heavy for the spring, and he's worked really hard on bringing that down. He had a really good year academically, which was a big hurdle. He had to focus on his academics upon coming to us from LSU, and we expect him to do that. He got a great opportunity this spring. You know, people forget Darnell and Brock were both out. So the opportunity he got, he sees that opportunity to grow and develop. He will have to continue to do that to be a major contributor for us, and he's bought into doing that and being a team player. There's a lot more to being a tight end than just catching the ball, and he's bought into that.
It'll be interesting if we actually do see Eric Gilbert realize his amazing physical potential, if he can get the things in order in his life that he needs to be able to realize that potential in the field. I think just the human part of me pulls for, I mean, obviously he's an LSU guy. I don't want to see him do exceptionally well at Georgia, but the human part of me wants to see him and anybody succeed. So from that standpoint, I do wish Eric Gilbert well. Kirby also talked about NIL, and I want to talk about that in just 60 seconds. I want to remind you about Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com, 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. The showroom, the Relief Windows showroom, is open now on Airline Highway in Prairieville. If you're going south on Airline, you cross 42, look to the right, you'll see it. It is gorgeous. They basically designed it to look like LSU football ops. It is so functional and just really impressive. If you're looking for energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, or vinyl siding, make it Relief Windows, where they will never take a dollar from you until the work is done and you are thrilled with the work that they have done. That is Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. So I mentioned Kirby talked about NIL, and I want to give you this context real quick because remember when Nick was here yesterday, he was very open that he's in favor of NIL. It needs guardrails, but he also used that as the opportunity to very outwardly say that Alabama had more NIL deals collectively than any other school in the country, and he put a number on it, $3 million. So with that as the context, and I told you that Kirby is sounding more like Nick every single day, he did talk about the success that Georgia has had with NIL.
NIL is good on the basis of what NIL is based on, okay? For Dan Jackson to be a walk-on from Gainesville, Georgia, and come in and get an opportunity to earn money for his education, that is good. For a young man that has a father that's on dialysis down in South Georgia and he can't support his father unless he goes back home and works or he gets NIL, that is good. We have 95 players right now with NIL deals that are on our roster. That's incredible, the depth of that. There's so much good there. It's the guardrails, it's the parameters that we need to protect our game. And not only protect our game, guys, it's protect young men, okay? We may have had the highest paid defensive lineman last year in NIL in Jordan Davis. We had the highest paid tight end in Brock Bowers in terms of NIL. Keely Ringo, I would argue, is probably one of the highest paid corners there is in NIL. So NIL can be a good thing, and they can learn to manage money at a young age. But to use it as inducement to get a young man to go to your school is not good for anybody or the game. I don't have the answer for how to guardrail that, but NIL has been good to Georgia, and it's been good to our players, and it'll continue to be.
You want to talk about talking out of both sides of your mouth. Why NIL is so good, and then also promoting it. 95 players had NIL deals. Davis, Bowers, Ringo, most NIL opportunities for their respective positions. Basically, at Georgia, you have NIL opportunities, and we're for it. But we can't do it for recruiting inducements. And also, I don't know how to guardrail it. That is the really, really, really tricky part for NIL. We all agree, don't we? We all agree that it's okay for players in the spirit of NIL to make money using their name, image, and likeness. We all agree. We all agree that it should not be used for recruiting inducements, but we all understand that it is. But nobody seems to know how to fix it. And I don't know that anybody has the answer, which is why I don't know that it will ever be fixed. One more, though, from Kirby Smart, where with respect to NIL, he did talk about a little bit more on the bad part of NIL.
The NIL program we have in place, we have a Classic City Collective run by Matt Hibbs who does a tremendous job. It's built on being sustainable because I don't think what's going on in college football right now at some places is sustainable, meaning can you do that year in and year out and repeat that? Can you honor the commitment that some people are trying to make to kids to get them to go to their school? It's just, it's not good for college football.
He basically said what Nick Saban said without saying Texas A&M bought their class. To be continued. Jimbo's here tomorrow. It's going to be fascinating to see what Jimbo has to say because we have not heard Jimbo in a setting like this since his blow-up. He was at the spring meetings, of course, in Destin, and it was measured and more tempered, but this circus tomorrow will be a different beast altogether. All right, it is After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Remember, trivia tonight and every Wednesday at Pluckers. We're glad to have you hanging on with us here. We'll knock out a quick break. The Arkansas Razorbacks rolled through earlier today. Defensive back Jalen Catalon, who's on everybody's preseason All-America watch list, major award watch list. You'll hear from Jalen Catalon when we continue. We're glad to have you aboard with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company all in one place. Agent225.com. You know where to find them. Agent225.com. Remember, working with Darren James obligates you to nothing. If at any point you're not thrilled with the work that they do, you can fire them. Free and clear, let you out of the contract, no questions asked. But you won't. There's a reason Darren is on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. That is subjective. I'm sorry, that is objective, not subject. That is based on the number of homes sold, the volume he does. Darren, it's incredible. 335-7666, 335-7666. Darren James is available day or night. You want to call him, text him, email him, doesn't matter. His ability to communicate with his clients and deliver results is why it sets him apart as one of the top realtors in America. 335-7666 or agent225.com. Agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today.
Live from the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, presented by Hudco Roofing. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Flucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
We continue from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Very pleased to be joined now by a guy who's basically in everybody's preseason, All-SEC and All-America, every defensive award watch list you could be on. Arkansas defensive back Jalen Catalon. How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing good. Just glad to be here. It's a great environment. I'm enjoying it.
You know, you told me that before we came on, that you kind of like the vibe of SEC Media Days. It's interesting because some people come and embrace it and have a lot of fun with it. Some people try to just get in, get out, don't say anything, don't want to be quoted, and don't want to make any headlines and move on. You seem like you're enjoying the day. Like, what is it about this that you enjoy?
I would say just seeing – I mean, I don't mind doing – because, for me, I'm a communications major, so I know what goes in with, with the questions and with being a reporter. So, honestly, it's just great practice, and it's just great, interview time to just show my personality and show what I'm about. So, I mean, I never mind doing that.
I love it, man. I've done this long enough to know there's so many guys that sat in your position that when they were done playing, whenever that was, because of the job they did here, people remembered them and they got jobs ultimately in media.
Exactly.
So as a communications major, that's pretty heady play,
yes,
man.
Sir. Yeah,
congrats to you on that. Hey, do you feel with everything I rattled off, man, I could run through your bio and look at all the preseason All-America lists, if it's Phil Steele, if it's AP, all that, Bednarik, everything. Like, do you feel is that an honor? Do you feel any pressure when you have all that stuff that comes?
Not really at all, just because, I mean, I came from a time where I was pressured my whole life with just having to, because I feared failure, so I was always pressured my whole life to not fail, because that was just a fear of mine. So once I got to the point now where I'm at, I'm more mature, I'm grown now, and it's a big boy game now. So, I mean, I'm not too pressured with all that, because I don't really pay much attention to it, because I feel like those lists, that's just validation. Okay. I mean, but you still got to go out there and prove. So, I mean, it's not even more proving to people. It's just honestly just for myself. I mean, I know the game that I can play. I know I can play it. So, why pressure a game you've been doing since you was a little kid? Yeah. Just enjoy it.
I want to talk about the season in a second, but let me ask you about some personnel, because I actually asked Coach Pittman this earlier in the main room. It's kind of a weird deal because LSU and Arkansas had like a player swap, basically. Yeah. A couple of guys that were in the secondary with you, Greg Brooks, Joe Fouché, they're now LSU Tigers. What can you tell me? I mean, you played next to those guys in the position group, in meeting rooms. What can you tell me, our audience, about those two guys?
They're phenomenal players, but one thing I say, they're phenomenal people. I mean, I've seen Joe and Greg grow, like, since I was there as a freshman. Me and Greg came in together. So just to see Greg and Joe grow and blossom, like, to what the players they are now, I mean, it's unspeakable. It's amazing to see. And like I said, I mean, does it sad me that they left? Of course. But like I said, it's all love always with us. Like, we talk with each other all the time. I mean, we text each other. I mean, we still have them in our little personal group chat as a team, like, with the DBs. Like, we still have a group chat with each other. Like, it's always love. Like, it will never change no matter what colors they're wearing, Like, that's the one thing about family, Once you become one of us, you're always going to be a part of us no matter what. So, I mean, I'm glad they got the opportunity to, go back home, Like, I respect that. So, hopefully they do great things for LSU. I know they will because they're great players. And, when we play them, it's going to be an exciting time. We're going to love it. Enjoy it.
We'll talk about that in a second. Is it weird, though, like, that, I mean, starting players and they move within the conference, but not only that, man, LSU's had back-to-back 500 seasons. Objectively, just win-loss, Arkansas's been better than LSU the last 2 years. I mean, do you look at it and go, it's a little weird that you're leaving like a team that's been winning and we're climbing, and you're going to a team that hasn't been winning?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we're more focused on the fact of what we got to do, rather than what LSU has going on and stuff like that. And, I feel like once you start worrying about why everybody else is doing this or that, then you kind of lose sight of what you got to do. So, I mean, all we're worried about is what we got to do for our record and make sure that we're on top of our stuff and make sure that we have everything that we need to be successful. So, that's the mindset we continue to do. So, it's a good deal.
Flip side of that is Dwight McGlothern and Landon Young leave LSU and go to Arkansas.
Yeah. Oh, Landon Jackson.
I'm sorry, Landon.
Yeah, you good.
Landon Jackson.
I got
Landon Young was an offensive lineman from Kentucky.
Yeah,
Landon Jackson.
If you suffer from erectile dysfunction, you must watch this.
Why can't you enjoy sexual satisfaction into your old age?
McLaughlin is, I call him a pterodactyl. Like, he's so long with his arms, man. What have been your impressions so far?
Man, so that's my roommate. So
really?
Yeah, so I'm always with him. So, I mean.
You can tell him I said that.
Yeah, I got you. He probably know it, but Dwight is a character. Like he's a great football player. He does a lot of good things on the field. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, he's amazing on the field. But the one thing I love is that he's never down. I mean, he's always smiling. I mean, everybody gets a kick out of just being with him. He's a great person. Me, had him as a roommate. I mean, we literally just sit in the room. If we're not doing anything with football related, I mean, we're just playing 2K all day. Like, we literally just play 2K, and we have a whole league play 2K all the time. But Dwight's my guy, and we develop a relationship, and it's grown so much to the point where he's my brother. I consider him a brother now, and it's crazy to say that a short amount of time he's been here, but he's my brother for real. So, and that's how it is in the whole room, and we consider each other to be a brotherhood, because once you join us, you're part of us. So, but Dwight's a great football player. I mean, you could tell he knows the game, loves the game, and he's been playing it for a while now. You know that. So, I'm excited to see what he's going to do this fall camp in the season.
Mavs guy, Rockets guy. You're from Texas, right? So what do you cheer for?
People gonna hate me for this, but
you're a Lakers guy.
No, I ain't no Lakers guy. I'm in Cali though. I'm a Curry fan. I love Curry. Okay. So I love Curry since he's been in the league. So I say I'm a Warriors fan. So I want to put that out there before people say I became a Warriors fan because of KD. No, I've been a fan since the Curry, like when he was a little rookie. So I've been a fan of Curry, but that's my team. So I always like to play with them if I can.
I mean, I get it. But so what you're from Mansfield?
Mansfield, Texas.
Where is that?
So Mansfield, Texas is the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Oh, so you're from the Dallas? You're not you no love for the Mavs?
I don't hate the Mavs.
Okay.
I don't know the Mavs, but like if I had to pick a team, it would be like I love the Mavs. You know what I'm saying? Now when the Warriors, I love Dirk. Yeah, Dirk's a great player. Like I said, one of the greatest power forwards of all time. But,
hell yeah, dude.
But if I had to look at it and say, the series Warriors versus the Mavs, I was going for the Warriors because of Curry. You know what I'm saying? But if the Mavs won that series, I wouldn't have been mad or nothing like that, so I'm not saying like Warriors, like I'm a diehard Warriors fan, but if I had to pick a team, it would be the Warriors.
Okay. NFL? Cowboys?
I don't have a team. I just like watching football.
All right.
I think that's more enjoyable like that.
It's probably better because when your name gets called next year in next spring's draft, like you won't have any allegiance that you'll have to worry about.
Yeah, hopefully that's the plan. That's the plan, man.
A couple more minutes here with Jalen Catalon, defensive back from Arkansas. You all won in Baton Rouge last year. What was the environment like playing in Tiger Stadium? It's a weird game, man.
Yeah, so I wasn't there. I was hurt out, so I was watching it on TV. But just to hear about how the experience was and to see them win it, I mean, that was a good moment for them, because we had some guys from Louisiana that won it. So, I mean, I know that game meant a lot for people, and just to see people holding up the boot. And, I was watching it back home on TV, but I was proud of the guys, and I was happy for them they got to experience that.
9-4 a year ago, which is – it's sometimes like context matters, Jalen. Like, I mean, Arkansas, when Sam Pittman came in, you're talking about a program that hadn't won a conference game. You know what I mean? And then to win 3 in the COVID year, and then last year to win 9 games. But you look at this schedule, it's literally the toughest schedule in America. So what's the expectation this year? I mean, what do you all talk about internally?
We talk about being at the top. I mean, if you're not trying, I always say, I'm going to keep saying it. If you're not trying to be at the top of what you do, then you have got it all wrong. You're playing the wrong sport. You're doing the wrong occupation. And so we look at it as if we accept it. We wouldn't want it any other way. We wouldn't want to have an easy schedule because we don't want handouts, We want to get it the hard way. We want to say that we earned it, because it feels better when when you did it and you earned it rather than saying it was given to you. So, like I said, we have a lot of good teams on our schedule, tough teams, teams that are credible. We start with Cincinnati. Cincinnati's well coached. They're coming off a college football playoff appearance. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be an exciting game, first game. And we're excited for it. I know we're going to have the right game plan for it. We'll be ready.
Even Missouri State, coached by Bobby Petrino. They've been in the FCS playoffs. There is no layup on your schedule this year.
No layup at all. But like I said, we wouldn't want it either way. We accept it. We invite it.
He is Jalen Catalon. What's the hat?
So we did the little SEC. We had a little photo shoot.
Oh,
and
nice.
Got a little hat here. Got a little @ sign on it. It says @Catalon.
Oh, I love it.
My
Nice.
IG handle, and then it's got a little QR code for my pictures that when I took.
Oh,
So-
very nice.
So I'm a little hat guy, so that's always appreciated when they do something like that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be rocking this for sure.
Great stuff, man. Sam Pittman, why is he the nicest guy ever?
Probably because how he was raised.
It's so crazy. Like, I mean, I'm no Arkansas fan, but
Yeah.
it is impossible to dislike that man.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, he just loves the players coach. I mean, he's always going to look out for us, always want to do everything he can to make us put in a situation as a team collectively. And, I mean, he's just a funny guy. I mean, you're going to be around him. He's always cracking jokes. I mean, he'll get people in team meet laughing just because of what he says and how he, goes about himself. And one thing I like, too, is that he's also a business guy because some people can be too funny and not enough serious. He has a good balance. He knows how to be funny when the time's funny, but more than not or not, I mean, he'll be serious and, he'll get after you too, So it's a balance, it's a balance between, seriousness, goofiness, and love. So that's something I respect about it.
He is Jalen Catalon, Arkansas senior defensive back. Man, I wish you good health and good luck this year, except when you play the Tigers.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Seagan near Airline, LA16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You hear me say it every single day. Buy local, shop local. Clegg's has been invested in our community for 60 years, and they've continued to grow, which is why they are the largest garden center in our state. One thing that I love about Clegg's is when we go to Clegg's and we buy flowers or plants or whatever it is from Clegg's, they last. The quality of the products is amazing because they're grown here locally, so they're acclimated to South Louisiana. That's different if you go to a big box store because go to a big box store, many times they're grown in other states and then put on a box truck and shipped into Louisiana, not at Clegg's. And remember, Clegg's has awesome stuff like garden decor if you want flags or if you want doormats for outside, if you want garden statues or so much other wind chimes, great decor, and they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local, Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
At Rejuvame, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy, giving you the energy you need for all life's challenges. We can help get your day started. 1, 2, 1, 2.
The best things in summer are unofficial. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343.
It's the ultimate feeling. You got me lifted, feeling so gifted. Sugar, how you get so fly? Sugar, sugar, how you get
Live from the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, presented by Hudco Roofing. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number one, Gary Stokan, President CEO of the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic Peach Bowl. He'll be with us here on site in about 10 minutes from right now. Boy, did they strike it rich with their season opener, Georgia and Oregon, from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, literally across the street from where we are right now. So that's coming up in 10 minutes from right now. Billy Napier took his first turn at SEC Media Days earlier today. And one of the really interesting things about Napier that is relevant for you and for me, of course, is that Napier comes from ULL. He has SEC ties, obviously, with his two stints at Alabama, but the successful run that he had with the Ragin' Cajuns and then going to Florida. But then not just that, his staff has a heavy Louisiana presence as well, with not only Corey Raymond but also Jabbar Jalouk. First of all, here was Napier on his time in Lafayette as the head coach of the Ragin' Cajuns.
Well, I think the first thing is you get put in these leadership opportunities, you quickly realize how important the people that you surround yourself with are. We had success in Louisiana because we had an unbelievable staff and we had a great group of players. And then I think time is of the essence, right? And what you do with your time, how you allocate your time, not only with your staff and team, but also with your family, right? So unbelievable experience, and I thought we got a little bit better each year. I wouldn't be prepared for this job without that experience. And the people in Lafayette shaped me, made me better. I'm thankful for my time there.
It was interesting and compelling how when a coach leaves a place, sometimes there's ill will, there's bad blood, where a fan base or an athletic department might feel jilted. But when Billy Napier left ULL, it was really an overwhelming feeling of appreciation for what he did in Lafayette, which was unprecedented in the history of that program. Now his task is get Florida back on track and to try to compete for a championship. We'll run through what Florida's got, especially this year coming up a little bit. We'll start to Frangie from 1010 XL in Jacksonville to get some perspective. But it did want to also let you hear what Napier had to say about both Jabbar Jalouk and Corey Raymond. Of course, Jalouk was on staff at LSU for one season, went to Texas Tech. He then went to ULL there with Billy Napier and is now taken him to Florida. Here was Napier on Jabbar.
With us for 4 years, proved his ability as a recruiter, proved his ability as a teacher on the field. His group was one of the best groups that we had. And I think the thing that's impressed me about Jabbar is his ability to mentor not only his group, but to have an effect on the entire roster. He has, as a former high school coach, he's got a sincere, authentic care, wants to help people, wants to help the players.
Listen, we've talked so much about the importance of Brian Kelly winning recruiting battles in Louisiana. When Nick got here in 2000, his phrase was what? Put a fence around the state. And Nick did that. And it's really only been penetrated at times by Nick at Alabama with good players. Billy Napier is going to test that because not only does Billy have deep ties in Louisiana, but Jabbar Jalouk in the city of New Orleans and Corey Raymond throughout the state of Louisiana, particularly Acadiana. So I've said it. I know this isn't popular among LSU fans, but I think LSU fans largely are sleeping on how big of a deal it is with Billy Napier at Florida. There were a lot of people who rejected the idea of Napier to LSU because they didn't think the coach from Lafayette could take the LSU job. I'll push back against that. Billy Napier has a tremendous amount of respect from people within the coaching profession. He learned from the best under Nick Saban, and I think he is the right guy at the right time for that Florida job. I'm not sitting here telling you I think Florida is going to be great this year. We're going to run through their schedule and what a season may look like this year. But if Billy Napier can maximize a guy like Anthony Richardson on the offensive side of the ball, Florida could have a special offense this year. But we will look at their schedule and the season as a whole for the Gators coming up here a little bit later in the show. It is after further review. We're going to knock out a break, get you caught up on national headlines from SportsCenter. When we come back, we always enjoy visiting with Gary Stokan. We'll do that when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. Michelli.com, 29 different locations all across the United States of America, but they're still rooted in South Louisiana in their New Orleans Harahan office. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, and they are hiring, by the way, not only in Harahan but also in their Baton Rouge offices and in Lake Charles as well. I would encourage you, go to the website. Go to the website at Michelli.com. Michelli.com. Click the careers tab right at the top. If you are interested in a career instead of a job with a company that's been family owned and operated for 75 years and knows how to value people, if you want to learn a new skill or trade, it's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Check them out online. Our nation's largest distributor of scales. They do all types of calibrations as well. Find out all the work they do online at Michelli.com. That's Michelli.com, and they are hiring. So to apply online, go to Michelli.com and hit that careers tab right at the top of the page. It's Michelli.com.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Money for research.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage all week long brought to you by Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. One of the reasons that we always love coming here is we get to visit with friends we don't get to see too often, but we do at events like this, and Gary Stokan is certainly in that number, the president CEO of the Peach Bowl, and, of course, presents the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic, which – man, you lucked up this year, my friend. Thank you for the time, as always. How are you?
Good to see you, Matt. Always good to see you at this time of year. We know college football's around the corner, but it's really special to see you here in Atlanta at the Hall of Fame.
How do you think, by the way, we'll talk about the game in a second. How do you think that it went? Did you have a big part in helping organize all this with the Hall of Fame?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
The Hall of Fame works with the SEC. The SEC does a great job coming into the city. We're throwing a party tonight for the media. In conjunction with the SEC, but no, this is the SEC show.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of conversation about where this event should go, if it should travel. It's been in Hoover so long, second time here in Atlanta. I think this backdrop is magnificent, right here. And we kind of lucked up. I mean, look at what's behind us, right? We got the Commander-in-Chief trophy, you've got the National Championship trophy, Heisman, Bryce Young's display. I mean, it's we lucked up with where we are.
That's why we built this thing here in Atlanta, to have events like this. And we appreciate the SEC coming. I think they're moving back. I think they're going to Nashville or Hoover next year. So hopefully we get it back here soon.
I think
nice to have a home game.
Well, maybe eventually it'll get to New Orleans and I'll be able to experience that. What it's like to just be right down the road. Let's talk about what you all have coming up. Of course, you all were the what would we say, inaugural kickoff classic. I mean, it started way back when it was a Bama-Clemson game, wasn't it?
Right, 2008.
2008. It was Nick's second year in Alabama. Remember it well. Alabama ran roughshod over Clemson that day. But, man, that really was the impetus for what we've seen in these kickoff classics, which have been an amazing way to start the season with great matchups, and you all kind of did that again. Can you talk to us a little bit about how the Georgia-Oregon matchup came together? Because, man, this is
they all have
you got lucky.
They all have their interesting stories. So Kirby, being with Nick so long at Alabama, had seen what the kickoff game format had done to help Alabama. And so when he got the job at Georgia, he said, Gary, I'll be in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game as many times and as often as you'll have us. So we scheduled him at 16, which was his first game against North Carolina. 20 against Virginia. We lost due to COVID.
Right.
22 coming up with Oregon, and 24 we got him against Clemson, which will be a blockbuster game in 24. On the Oregon side, I met with Mario Cristobal at Pac-12 Media Days probably 3 years ago, and I said, hey, I have an opening in 2022 against Georgia. He said, oh, I know Kirby. I'd love to play against Kirby. He was on the staff with Nick and Kirby at Alabama. And long story short, Mario gets the Miami job after committing to come play here. Who knows? Dan Lanning winds up being the defensive coordinator, gets the Oregon job. He's coaching his first game against Georgia, and his friend Kirby Smart. Bo Nix, for some reason, transfers from Auburn, goes to Oregon, and winds up being probably the quarterback to play against Georgia again. So you can't write these scripts. You just get lucky sometimes, and we're lucky this year. Phil Steele has them ranked 10th. Oregon has Georgia ranked 3rd, so 2 top 10 teams. 3:30 ABC national TV game. Sold out, we announced today. which is great. And then Monday night we've got an ACC opener to their conference, first time ever, with Clemson number 5 against Georgia Tech. So we hope to have that announced by this weekend, a sellout as well.
Do you? I would assume you do, but having the opening weekend, which stretches Thursday to Monday, I mean, is it too much, or do you enjoy having that kind of a blockbuster kickoff weekend and playing 2 games here?
Well, we try and be good partners, and typically in the past, the ACC-SEC matchup has worked for us. We will go outside, like we had Washington against Auburn. We got Oregon against Georgia. We get a high-ranked team to play. But the ACC, we work together with them as a partner with respect to the Monday night primetime unopposed TV slot. We told them whenever you need some help, whenever we can do something locally, we want to do it. Georgia Tech said, hey, we want to play in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We'd love to play in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. So to be able to get Clemson, Georgia Tech was, good for the ACC, good for Georgia Tech, and good for us as well.
Yeah, you get a conference game. I mean, to open the season, which is kind of incredible. I mean, that's happened a couple of times, with the SEC. But a lot of times I think those might happen on the SEC network, like on a Thursday night opener type deal.
And they're home games.
Exactly,
yeah.
and they're not neutral site. They're home games.
Right.
Gary Stokan's with us, President CEO of the Peach Bowl, and, of course, the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. LSU got a chance to get back because you're scheduled out through 2025.
Well, it's interesting. We had worked with LSU to do the game this year against Florida State. And LSU wanted to play in New Orleans, and then they wanted to come to Atlanta to play the other game. Florida State was interested in Atlanta, but then Coach Taggart came in and said, no, I want to play in Florida. So they scheduled the game in Tampa, the rematch, which we started the dialogue with both schools to come play in Atlanta, and it winds up that it was a great idea, but we wound up playing in New Orleans and Tampa. So we missed out on that game.
So if that game had been scheduled, would that have been the Saturday or the –
So they'd have played this year in New Orleans, and then next year they'd have played in Atlanta.
Next year would have been in Atlanta on the Saturday.
Yeah.
On the Saturday game. What about a future opportunity? Maybe a better way to ask this, Gary, is it how challenging is it to schedule, especially because you don't know what the schedule formats are going to be?
That's the challenge. Number one is what's expansion look like of the CFP? If they stay at 4 or go to 8, people may not be that interested in playing tough non-conference games because no team with 2 losses has ever made it in the playoffs. If they go to 12, then I think people are willing to play tougher non-conference games. That's number one. Number two, what's the expansion of the conference look like? Do they add more teams? Number 3 is, do they decide to play 9 conference games or 10? Mm-hmm. If you play 9, in some years you have 5 home games, 4 away games. You flip it the next year. If you have 4 home games, the last 3 games you need to schedule at home so you don't have any inventory to play a non-conference game because you have to, as an AD, schedule 7 home conference games or 7 games to make your budget in a year.
Is there – because, I mean, I don't know how much into the numbers you can go, but are there circumstances where a team can come play the Kickoff Classic and financially it makes sense to do so? It certainly would make sense as opposed to giving a return game. I know LSU – that's why LSU would do Kickoff Classics at times.
Yeah, to me, the way we started this was, okay, Alabama, you're much better playing in our Chick-fil-A kickoff game for, let's say, $5 million, which is more than they netted a home game.
And this was in 2008. I would assume they make more than that now.
Right, and then play a home game the next year. You've made money both years. You play a home and home, you make money when it's your home game, but when you go on the road, you don't make a dime.
Mm-hmm.
So now it helps when you play at home because your season ticket base that revenue gets to be a part of that game. But when you go on the road, you don't make any money. So we thought part of our pitch was play a neutral game and then play a home game the next year. You make money both years.
Yeah.
But a lot of ADs have looked at it and said, hey, I'm going to schedule a tough non-conference game, home and home. And they've done that out through the 2030s. So it's tougher and tougher to get a kickoff game done. I know LSU likes coming to Atlanta. They've had a lot of success in Atlanta, so we're still going to work with them to see if we can get a game in the future, but tougher and tougher to do.
Yeah. Unless if LSU comes for the Peach Bowl.
If they come.
That's fun, too.
Yeah.
That was really fun in 2019.
Matter of fact, they just scored against Oklahoma again.
That day was insane.
Yeah, we love LSU fans. We love working with, Brian Kelly's a good friend. I think he's going to be extremely successful down there. And the LSU fans have always treated us really well in Atlanta, so we welcome them back anytime.
Gary Stokan's with us. Would you mind elaborating a little bit more on Brian Kelly, how well you know? Because, honestly, I've said this to all of our guests, Gary. Brian took the job. It's been about 7 months. And when he took the job, he had to overhaul a roster. I mean, so we're still getting to know him. So it's always interesting to get perspectives of people that know him and have worked with him in the past.
Yeah, Brian is somebody that has been successful everywhere he's been. He's had to build programs. He'll build LSU back. He may not be as successful as everybody wants him to be in his first year because he's dealing with so many transfers and new coaching and a new atmosphere, et cetera. Obviously, the SEC West is very, very difficult. I
heard that.
But I think overall, Brian is going to be very, very successful. And I think he'll win a national championship down there. But, I think he'll retire down there. He'll be so successful.
Yeah. He got a nice 10-year contract. The two sides are wed for a decade. The way that is written, they completely committed themselves to each other to make this work. I know a lot of people are certainly pulling for it. What else do people need to know, Gary? The kickoff games are sold out. Can you already start buying tickets in advance for a Peach Bowl, for Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl?
Well, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl sold out.
Well, so never mind. So what are we telling people to go do? Buy tickets for 2030?
Well, we're just looking forward to hosting people for the semifinal this year, and then over the next 3 years, we'll host the semi in 25. We'll have 2 top 10 teams in 23 and 24, and we're just kind of waiting to see what the conferences are going to do with expansion of the CFP to see what our role may be going forward with the new CFP expansion of the playoffs.
Do you anticipate that the bowl games will continue to be a part of the college football playoff, even if it expands?
I think so. I think the relationships, the partnerships are there. I think, number one. Number two, in the voted down version of the playoff with the 12 teams, the Bulls were part of that process. Hopefully the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl stays a part of that kind of New Year's 6 process. We think we've earned the right because we've been successful for CFP with sellouts and, doing the right thing, building the College Football Hall of Fame, giving back $60 million since 2002, building the Chick-fil-A kickoff game format. So we think we've done what's right for college football, and we hope that's continue to look favorably by the commissioners.
Yeah, I know you and I have had this conversation plenty of times over the years on the air and privately, but just about LSU's affiliation with this game from playing the first one ever against Florida State, the Peach Bowl, and then 2000, how that happened with Nick Saban, and it was such a launch pad for the program early in the Nick Saban era. LSU fans always have a strong affinity for coming here to Atlanta, be it for obviously an SEC championship, which people love. But
so what you're saying is we've launched Nick Saban twice here at LSU and at Alabama?
I did not need to think about the second one, Gary. Why did you have to go there? He's Gary Stokan, President and CEO of the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic, and, of course, the Peach Bowl as well. Thank you, as always, for the time.
Matt, always good to be with you. I know it's football season when you and I get a chance to visit.
It is, and I hope we're back here at some point around the holidays, because it means LSU had a really good year as well.
Look forward to seeing you then.
That is Gary Stokan. This is After Further Review. We'll continue next.
AFR.
By the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Expanding healthcare in the Baton Rouge area. You know where to find them online at brgeneral.org, with locations all over. If it's the Mid-City campus where they reopened their ER amid COVID, if it's the Bluebonnet campus where they, of course, have the Pennington Cancer Center, which has treated so many in our community, if it's the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital where emergency care is now available in Ascension Parish, closer than ever in Ascension Parish, and all of the Express Care locations where, of course, you've got walk-in urgent care 7 days a week, all thanks to the Baton Rouge General Hospital. if you want to see all the list of featured services, you can go to the website, brgeneral.org, if it's the cancer center, which we talked about, if it's surgery, elective or emergency care as well. You can even deliver your baby at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. brgeneral.org. That's brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Expanding healthcare in Baton Rouge. It's brgeneral.org.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
At Rejuvame, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy, giving you the energy you need for all life's challenges. We can help get your day started. 1, 2, 1, 2.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits.
Live from the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, presented by Hudco Roofing. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey, thanks again to Gary Stokan. A great guy, and I think it's fascinating. It's one of my favorite parts, when we come here and we get to talk to Greg Sankey, or you get to talk to, if it's Gary Stokan, or a lot of the folks who handle the administrative side of college football for the conference and some of those relationships. You get to hear the thought processes that go into a lot of the decisions that are made about things like scheduling or conference realignment or NIL or anything that happens, as far as the nuts and bolts. And it's one of the kind of neat things about obviously coming to this event. In about 10 minutes from right now, we're going to hear from Frangie, really good friend of the show, 1010XL in Jacksonville. Frank's a great guy and does a magnificent job covering the Gators. He's also the play-by-play voice of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he's done just about everything you can in this profession, has a great finger on the pulse of all things Florida. So year one under Billy Napier, we'll get some perspective. As we told you, we're going to run through their schedule and kind of look at how it looks year one for Billy Napier. But we also heard today from Sam Pittman. And Sam Pittman might just be the nicest guy ever. I think he is a case in point of how you don't have to rule with an iron fist to be effective in college football, or really in sports at any level, especially at a high level. And, the success he's had at Arkansas, to put into perspective, he inherited a program that was on a record SEC losing streak. And his first year was the COVID year, and they went 3-7. But you got to keep in mind that was 3 SEC games because you played a 10-game SEC schedule. And they won 3 games in 2020, and then last year they won 9 games. That's a hell of a leap from year 1 to year 2. And now you look at Arkansas going into year 3, and they are pretty honest that they're not sneaking up on anybody. And they know that they have expectation now. But, sustaining success at Arkansas has always been a problem. It's perplexed me because maybe the most key component to having success at the highest level is resources. If you have money, if you have resources and commitment, you can build great facilities, you can hire great coaches, and if you do those two things, you're going to be able to recruit great players, and you can win. Arkansas has so many resources. The one thing they don't have is a talent-rich state, which we'll come back to that. But they have the resources to be successful otherwise if they commit. But they've had so many peaks and valleys there. But you've got Walmart money, and you've got Tyson Chicken money, you've got Jerry Jones money, you've got FedEx money. They should be consistently better than they are. But it goes to show you the value of having a talent-rich state. It's why I always talk about LSU, Georgia, and Ohio State. Those are the three. The three where they are the only Power 5 in a talent-rich state. That's the difference. Arkansas, they're the only Power 5, but that state does not produce talent. So they've got to cast a wide net to get the best players. And sometimes they have to do it in the transfer portal. And I actually had the opportunity to ask Sam Pittman a question in the main room earlier today. And I did ask him about the transfers because there was sort of a weird – look, what happened with LSU at Arkansas this year in the transfer portal is kind of an oddity. It was basically a player swap. Arkansas got Dwight McGlothern and Landon Jackson, and LSU got Joe Fouché and Greg Brooks. So I asked him about the players, the ones that he has coming in and the ones that he has going out. Let's start with Joe Fouché and Greg Brooks, the two veteran defensive backs who, of course, from Louisiana, played their careers at Arkansas and now will finish their careers at LSU.
Two fine kids. Ones that were never in trouble, and ones gave everything for the University of Arkansas. And we're very, very happy that they were on our football team. They'll work hard. They're good kids. They're good players. And certainly when you go in the same division, it's harder, but great kids, great parents. Coach Kelly got two fine football players.
I think that's one of the reasons why when you listen to Sam Pittman, and by the way, you hear how he didn't talk much about football. He talked about other great kids. They do everything right. They're great families. And all of that underscored speaks to the type of player that Brian Kelly was trying to bring in when he talks about graduate champions, but he also wanted guys from the state of Louisiana who wanted to win for Louisiana, and certainly did that with those guys. Now, the flip side of it is LSU saw Dwight McGlothern and Landon Jackson transfer. Now, Landon Jackson had a torn ACL. We never really saw him be impactful at LSU. Dwight McGlothern, on the other hand, was. Dwight McGlothern, when Derek Stingley was injured, stepped up and started the second half of the season. And he is, out of central casting for what you want for a modern-day defensive back. He is long, he is fast, he is athletic, and he is fearless. Here was Sam Pittman talking about McGlothern and Jackson.
Dwight McGlothern is a guy we think can play man-to-man cover corner. More importantly, he thinks he can play man-to-man cover corner, and he can. He's long. I like him a lot. Landon Jackson came over with an injury. Wonderful person, wonderful kid. He's just now healthy. He can run now. I mean, he can run. And so we felt like, not necessarily from LSU, but we felt like some of our issues were rushing the passer as a defensive end and a cover, man-to-man cover corner situation. Not that we don't have them, but we needed more. We felt like we did well with those two guys in the portal.
I completely agree on McGlothern. Of the four players we just talked about, Fouché, Brooks, McGlothern, Jackson, the best player of the four, as far as projectability, is Dwight McGlothern. He's the guy that's got the opportunity to be a potential first-round NFL draft pick. But in 2022, I could make a case that Fouché and Brooks, because of their experience on this team with that type of turnover, could mean more to LSU. Interesting hearing him say, though, that he felt Landon Jackson can really run, because that was kind of the knock on him here, was that he was a little big dude. I mean, he's a 6'6", 260-pound guy, or 270-pound guy, big defensive end, but was a little stiff. That was kind of the knock. We'll see if he continues to develop while he's there at Arkansas. Sam Pittman was also asked if Arkansas – he was asked a two-part question. It was, do you want to play Texas and Oklahoma as your permanent opponents when they come into the conference? And then he asked, has Arkansas – can you say confidently that Arkansas has arrived? Let's talk the arrived one first. This is 5, Muse, if you would. Has Arkansas arrived?
No. Arkansas is just trying to compete. We're trying to get better. We're trying to, we're trying to fight hard. We're trying to work hard. We're the underdog. We like it that way. No. We're away from that. Now, we will compete. We'll do that. Roll it out there and let's play ball. But no. We're not that.
At some point, you want to embrace expectation, I understand. But here's Arkansas's win total in reverse order. Last year, of course, they won 9. So here you go. 9, 3, 2, 4, 7, 8, 7, 3, 4, 11, 10, 8, 5, 8, 10, 4, 5, 9. You understand the point? They have peaks and valleys. They've never been able to sustain it. So he's right. You can't say that Arkansas has arrived, because when you look at their history, this is just another peak, which has always been followed by a valley. So how do they avoid it? That's the big question. And when I look at Arkansas this year, y'all, there's a lot of people, and I will be fascinated to see how this vote goes. Because I honestly, as I sit here today, I don't know how I'm going to vote for the order of finish in the conference just yet. What I know is I'm going to pick Bama 1 in the West and Georgia 1 in the East. I don't know how it's going to go after that, because I could make a case for A&M. I could make a case for Arkansas. I could make a case for Ole Miss, which won 10 games last year. I could make a case for LSU to be second in the West. I could make a case for almost anybody else to be second in the West. If Arkansas is ready to avoid the valley, this is the kind of year when you have a veteran quarterback, when you're building on that success, that you have to be able to maintain that success. The problem Arkansas has is their schedule. They opened up against Cincinnati, which was in the playoff last year. Then they're at home against South Carolina, which obviously, as we know, is bringing in Spencer Rattler. And there are a lot of people who think South Carolina could be a dark horse to upset some people this year. Then they're home against Missouri State, which is coached by Bobby Petrino. They've been to the FCS playoffs the past 2 years. Then they're home against A&M. I'm sorry, it's a neutral site against A&M. They're home against Bama. Then they go at State, at BYU, at Auburn. Then they're home against Liberty and Hugh Freeze. That's not an easy game. Home against LSU, home against Ole Miss, at Missouri for the Battle Line Trophy. Y'all, Arkansas has, according to strength of schedule metrics, the toughest schedule in the country going into this season. If they maintain the level of success they had a year ago when they won 9 games, it will be massively impressive, because they will have done it against that schedule. And I'll remind you, Arkansas was 8-4, then they won the bowl game against Penn State, so it was an 8-win regular season. If they're able to go 8-4 again in this regular season, maybe get to 9 with a bowl win, it would be massively impressive for Sam Pittman to stake that flag in the ground as far as what the consistency of that program can be. But that is a really, really big ask for this program in this year against that schedule. All right, it's after further review. If you want to bet on those win totals, you can. DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Get up to $1,000 risk-free on your first bet at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. You want to bet on win totals. You want to bet on the second half of the Major League Baseball season. Otterlocks returns tomorrow. We'll look forward to that with Jimmy. You can do it all at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Remember, same-game parlays. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. You got golf this weekend. Anything you want to bet on, you can do it at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Now, the disclaimer.
21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget. Like Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP.
Okay, guys. Appreciate you for being with us here. We're at Radio Row, SEC Football Media Days. Remember, you can always watch our coverage on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel as well. If you are there, do us a favor. Take a quick second and smash the like button. It helps all the algorithm and stuff, and we do appreciate it. Appreciate, of course, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com, bringing you our coverage all week long from right here at Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Quick break. The other team that's got a lot to prove this year that was here today, the Florida Gators. Visit with Frangie from 1010XL in Jacksonville. You'll hear that conversation about year one under Billy Napier when we return from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. You've heard me say it. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks all over town with the giant clock on side. Go read the Google reviews. They have so many 5-star Google reviews because of the level of customer service they provide and have provided over the years. Like the job that they did for Aaron Bertrand, who left a 5-star Google review, who said, JJ and the team were absolutely amazing. I was up and running within hours of my system going down. Fast, affordable, and JJ was very personable while explaining in detail what was going on. 100% recommend them. That's another real-life 5-star Google review from Aaron Bertrand about River City's 1 Hour Air, and yours could be next. Got issues with your AC? Let River City's 1 Hour Air help. 752-0001, whether they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating health.
Live from the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, presented by Hudco Roofing. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Back from Radio Row, Day 3 here at SEC Football Media Days. Two new coaches in the conference. Of course, Brian Kelly and someone LSU fans and Louisiana football fans know well, Billy Napier with the Florida Gators. Very pleased to be joined by Frangie. 1010XL in Jacksonville does an awesome job there. And, of course, radio voice of the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Great to see you as always.
Matt, great seeing you. It's always fun to catch up, and it's a little different setup here, but love coming and loving catch up. Love catching up with you.
Likewise. How's Billy Napier done since December?
He's done really well. He is on schedule.
Okay.
I tell people this all the time. Dan Mullen didn't recruit very well. They didn't recruit very well, Matt. So he wasn't going to show up in December and beat Alabama in January. It doesn't work like that. He had to build the infrastructure, the gigantic staff, which everybody knows about. He inherited the building that's going to be available in July or maybe early August, I think. So he's done a really good job of taking the next step and the next step. Matt, they didn't. You know when all the players come out with their logos on their top 5 and top 10? Well, their logo wasn't making it. The logo wasn't making it. First, you got to get the logo on the social, okay? So now the logo's on the social. Then you got to get them to visit. Well, they're starting to visit now. The next step is getting them on campus. So I think he's on schedule 7 months in of doing that kind of stuff. He hasn't gotten as many commitments as every Gator fan thought he was getting them all. Mm-hmm. But I think where he wanted it to be, I think 7 months in, I think he's on schedule.
I'm fascinated by the fact that they're bringing Anthony Richardson here.
Yeah.
Because when I look at that quarterback room, I didn't make the assumption that Richardson had won the job. But you bring a quarterback here, don't we all assume that's the guy? So is he the guy?
Yeah, he's good for two reasons. He's way ahead of Jack Miller, the transfer from Ohio State. They're night and day. And we didn't know that because you don't know what you're getting with the transfer. He's way ahead. So he's the quarterback. Now, he's got to stay healthy, and he's got to make, anything. He might be really good. Now he might not be. Mm-hmm. You saw it up close and personal for about a quarter and a half.
We did.
My goodness. And every Gator fan's watching that and thinking, where has that been? Why not play him? So, but yeah, he's clearly the starter. He's a neat kid too. He's got to quit doing backflips. I think we're backflipped out now. I think we got our backflips.
Nah, man, I love the backflips.
I think we got enough backflips. I think you need to play quarterback. The big question about him, Matt, will be he can make the extraordinary play. Can he make the easy play? When it's a check down or a swing pass, that's what you have to do. You have to complete about 7 out of every 10 these days, but we'll see. It's going to be fun seeing him here today.
Frank Frangie's with us for a couple more minutes. We're talking Gators who take their turn. Is Florida going to beat Utah in week 1?
Boy, it's funny. I think Utah's got the better team. Utah's got a returning quarterback. Utah's got a coach. It's the same system. They're not having to learn a new system. I think if they were playing Salt Lake City, I think Utah would win by 2 touchdowns. I think if they were playing on a neutral site, Utah would win by 10. It's in the swamp. The Gator fans are as excited as I've seen them in a long time.
Okay.
It's going to be really loud. You can't scout the Billy Napier Gators yet because they haven't played. I think it's going to be a really good game. I'd pick Utah to win if I had to pick today, but I'll bet, what's the line? 1.5? Those guys know what they're talking about, you know. So I think it's a fourth quarter game. It's hard not to pick Utah. I think Utah's a top 10 team. It's hard not to pick a top 10 team to win that game. But I think it's going to be I think it's one of the best openers of the week of the season. I do.
2.5.
Yeah, okay, so it's close. So it's a close line.
Yeah, Utah 2.5, which is a little surprising to
Yeah.
see. I mean, good on Kyle Whittingham's built a great program. I think Florida's fascinating this year because Richardson has the tantalizing talent. Napier is such a good offensive coach. We saw what he did with Levi Lewis at ULL. Can he do it there? What do you think, perspective of a guy who knows it, what do you think about Brian Kelly at LSU?
I'm excited. We had him on the other day. He was fantastic. He's excited. He looks energized. I think he's a good coach. I never bought the regionality thing. I laughed about the accent and the dancing like everybody else did. But I don't believe in the regionality thing. If you're a good coach, you're a good coach. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's going to be great there. Look. Everybody goes there and wins the national championship, so that's going to happen. I mean, you can't really go to LSU and not win one. I mean, you and I could go, we'd win one. Now, we may get fired 2 years later, but Matt, he will be let's say they win a national title, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. He'd be the fourth different coach since, like you know this, your listeners know this, but to us, fourth different coach since 2003 to win one. Well, that's stupid. No school has 4 different coaches win a national championship. I think he's going to be great. I like him, too. I think he's funny. I think he's down. I don't think he takes himself too seriously. I think he's going to be great. I mean, I'm not saying it just because I'm on with you and your audience. I really think that.
It was interesting this week because his personality here, I think, is a contrast to what the public perception of him is. We're getting to know him, too, Frank. I mean, he's only been around 7 months. But he is a lot looser than I think most people think.
He is a better football coach, with all due respect, than Les Miles, Red Orgeron. Yeah, he's
not even debatable.
He's a better football coach. So that's the answer. He's a better football coach than those guys.
Before you go, I'm looking at Florida's schedule right now. We talked about the opener against Utah. I mean, I see this clump of games in October, the beginning of November. It's LSU, Georgia, at A&M, South Carolina. You go, man. Yeah. What is the realistic expectation for this team?
I don't think they're very good on the defensive front. I think to win national championships today, you have to have quarterback play followed by defensive line. You look at all these teams, Matt. You look at the Clemson teams and the LSU teams and the Alabama teams and last year's Georgia team. You know the one thing, Georgia had an average quarterback, but a great defensive line and a great defense. You look at the teams that are winning these titles, they all have great defensive fronts, man. Those defensive fronts show up, win a national title, and then go to the NFL. That's what they all do. That's how you win. Florida doesn't have that. I think they're going to get run on. I don't think they can stop the run. I think their offensive line is average, and it's the better of the two lines. So it's going to be hard. Realistically, can they get to 7 or 8 wins? Yeah, probably. Richardson's pretty good. They're still Florida. The Swamp will win a game or two for you because it's the Swamp.
Yeah.
But I don't see them winning at Tennessee. They've beaten Tennessee. Do you realize they've beaten Tennessee 17 out of 18 times? 17.
The one was the Hail Mary, wasn't it?
That's right. 17 of 18 times. They're 17-1 against Tennessee in the last 18 years, but I don't see them winning up there. LSU, we don't know what to think because we don't know what LSU is going to be. They're not beating Georgia. They're probably not winning at A&M. So if they can get to 7 or 8 wins, I would think that's a pretty good first year for him.
How many games Jacksonville going to win this year?
More than 3. Okay, so I think we'll be better. I think, if one day when you have an entire show, I'll tell you about last year, okay?
I would love to hear
maybe
it.
2 shows.
Maybe
over a beer, maybe at night, maybe a continued show, maybe a series. We'll go on Netflix. It was the most dysfunctional. I'm 42 years into this business. I'm 63 years old. I've done this a long time. It's the most dysfunctional season I've ever been around. I mean that very sincerely. I've seen Florida coaches get fired, cheat. I've seen all of it. It blew my mind at times. The way, and I'm not trying to pile on Urban, he's gone, just how dysfunctional the entire thing was. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. Yeah, Trevor's good. Doug Peterson's a great guy, by the way. He's a
Louisiana guy.
Louisiana guy. Yeah, he's a normal guy.
Yeah.
We needed normal. Normal's good now, and he's a normal, regular guy. They'll be better. Can they get to 6-7 wins? I think that's a realistic goal. The quarterback's going to be good. They've still got they need more pieces. They did a nice job in the offseason. They need another offseason like that. But, yeah, I think they can. If they get to 7 wins, I think that's a pretty good year.
He is Frangie, 1010XL in Jacksonville, and the radio voice of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good enough to join us, talk some Gators. Thanks as always, Matt.
Okay, Matt. Great to join you.
AFR.
For over 53 years, customers have been heading to Happy Town for the Corval Toyota experience. Why? Because they choose to get an outstanding price and amazing customer service. Want the same and get treated like family? Then Corval Toyota in Opelousas is the dealership for you. Corval vehicles have been cruising around Acadiana for 5 decades. Corval Toyota is here to stay, and we want to keep you rolling. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
At Rejuvame, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy, giving you the energy you need for all life's challenges. We can help get your day started. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
Live from the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, presented by Hudco Roofing. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I told you that I wanted to run through Florida's football schedule. Wrapping up hour number 2. Of course, Pluckers, always appreciate Pluckers, our title sponsor on Wednesdays. Trivia tonight and every Wednesday at both Pluckers locations you get on by. In the next hour, you are going to hear from KJ Jefferson, Arkansas's quarterback. You will hear from Will Levis, Kentucky's quarterback. And you will hear from Sedrick Pran, starting center at the University of Georgia. That's all coming up in the next hour. But I did mention earlier in the show that I wanted to run through Florida's schedule for this season and why. I think you heard us talk with Frangie. I wanted to talk about why I think it's going to be a very, very difficult season for a potentially difficult season for the Gators. You heard me and Frank there talking about the opener against Utah, where the Gators are a 2.5-point underdog. Then they're home against Kentucky. I am probably a little more bullish this year on Kentucky with Will Levis back, with Chris Rodriguez back. Yes, you lose Darian Kennard on the offensive line. So I can understand with some of the offensive line turnover why that's a problem, but I also think Kentucky on the defensive side of the ball, in particular on the line, the front seven, where Mark Stoops has built a solid core and foundation, why, if you're Kentucky, you're excited about what you have coming back. So, yes, that game is in Gainesville, but, I think, Kentucky could very well end up favored in that game. No line yet posted, no early line yet posted on that game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kentucky was a road favorite. Then Florida is at home against South Florida, a game they should win. Then they go on the road to Tennessee. You heard Frank talk about the history in that series, but even he felt like Tennessee would win that game. They're home against Eastern Washington, and then home against Missouri. Missouri, Connor Bazelak is transferred out. He's now the quarterback at Indiana, so you'll have turnover at quarterback for Mizzou. Then Florida's at home against LSU, which, if you've listened, you know my feeling on that game. I think LSU could well be better than Florida and Auburn this year, but I think playing in those road venues is always difficult and has to be respected. Like in 2018, I thought LSU was better than Florida in 2018, but Burrow threw a couple of interceptions in that game, and you lost a really tough day game in Gainesville, which, it's Gainesville. It's hard to go play there and win. Then Florida plays the cocktail party against Georgia. Then they're at A&M, home against South Carolina, and who knows what, by that point of the season, Spencer Rattler and the Gamecocks could be. And they finish up at Vandy at Florida State. So you should win the game at Vanderbilt, and who knows what Florida State's going to have this year 3 under Mike Norvell, so that could be an interesting one. I think Florida and Billy Napier are going to eventually be very good. I think if you asked me which first-year coach has a better first season, Brian Kelly or Billy Napier, I would tell you Brian Kelly, and in large part because of that schedule for Florida. The one wild card at Florida is the same wild card that I would tell you at LSU. It's what do you get out of the quarterback position. If we see 12 games of Anthony Richardson the way we saw him against LSU in Baton Rouge for a half of football, then I think Florida could be explosive and dynamic and awesome. Like, that could be the transcendent difference maker that could lead them to greatness. I would say the same thing about LSU. If Miles Brennan throws for 4,000 yards or 3,500 yards, if Jaden Daniels comes in and becomes a 3,000-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher, which I think is doable, you could maybe even say the same thing for Garrett Nussmeier if he becomes the starter, however it may go. Like, I'm not predicting any of those things will happen. I'm saying that's the differentiator that could be the unknown that at the most important position in team sports could propel a team to really good heights when we're not expecting it. That's why this year is so difficult to predict in the league, because so many of those teams have that type of ambiguity going around for them. So, the Gators are in a very similar position to LSU heading into this season and in year one under Billy Napier. It's why, look, let's be honest, it's why you've got new head coaches at both those spots. All right, we're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet, Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey, and Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. If it's hormone replacement therapy, if it's things like VeloShape, UltraShape, body contouring, if you want to look and feel like your younger self, they can help at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. You can always schedule that consultation. Just go online to theantiagingclinics.com. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Look, Came here this week. I brought all my vitamins and supplements for the week. Get them at Aesthetic. Medical-grade supplements. They got it all for you at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. All right, y'all. We're going to knock out our top of the hour break here. We'll get you caught up on national headlines from SportsCenter. When we come back, we got a lot of guys that you got to hear from. Kentucky quarterback Will Levis, he's on deck. We'll let you hear from Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson, and New Orleans native and the starting center for the defending national champion Sedrick Van Pran is coming up in hour number 3 as well. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Make sure you check us out on demand there at 1045ESPN.com or the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. It's day 3 from Radio Row here at SEC Football Media Days. Tomorrow will be at the possibility of fireworks, of course, with Jimbo Fisher and the Texas A&M Aggies here, along with Auburn and Tennessee, to wrap up the week. We'll wrap up the show with our final hour next on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com, bumper-to-bumper auto service, name-brand tires at wholesale prices. You know the drill, locally owned and operated since they opened their doors more than 50 years ago over at Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Go to the website, highly recommend it. You want to search tires, you can do it at ShawBillsTire.com. You need to schedule service, you can do it at ShawBillsTire.com. Doesn't matter if you need something as simple as an oil change or a tire rotation. Maybe the brakes are squeaking, the check engine light is on. Maybe you just need a tune-up as you head on that final family vacation here in July before the kids get back into school. ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name-brand tires at wholesale prices, and they treat you like family. For things like you got a hole in your tire, they will replace it, or they will repair it for free, no questions asked, for all family vehicles. Just the right thing to do at Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Levis for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield.
That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
Describe Tyrant too, but
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR. Presented by Pluckers. We're live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. Day 3. We saw the defending national champs roll through, the Georgia Bulldogs. Billy Napier and the Gators, their new head coach, also earlier in the day today. Arkansas, a team that won 9 games a year ago, looking to build on it. And the Kentucky Wildcats, another team that is looking to continue to ascend their program to new heights. And if they do, it'll be on the right arm of quarterback Will Levis, who earlier today when Kentucky was here, we had a chance to sit down and visit with Will Levis. Take a listen. Back from Radio Row, SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage all week is brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Very pleased to be joined by a guy who went viral for eating a banana with the peel still on it. He's Kentucky quarterback Will Levis. How are you, man?
Good. I didn't think I'd be introduced as that, but I'll take it. I mean,
is that your most viral moment ever?
Possibly. I think so. I mean,
what challenge is it?
Maybe the mayo and the coffee. I don't know.
Oh. How did that start, bro?
Yeah, it's just like stupid, funny things that come about and that aren't really planned. Like the mayonnaise and the coffee thing was just me and my girlfriend out at breakfast, and they gave us our coffees, and the only thing on the table was a bottle of mayo. And she was like, "Oh, you should put it in." I was like, "You don't got to tell me twice." So,
the peel on the banana though isn't bad.
No, it is not bad at all, and especially when it's ripe like that, and you can kind of just bite through it like nothing. It just tastes like a banana.
It does, but the back end of it is a little more challenging.
Mm-hmm. The nub.
We'll say nub. No. I just meant like after it processes.
Oh yeah,
is what's more challenging.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a little couth if I could. Man, I love coming to this. I tell our audience all the time because otherwise I'd probably never have a chance to ever talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to talk to interesting people, hear their stories. So I start reading through your bio, your family history. Your great-grandfather won a national championship at Yale in the 30s? Or Cornell in the 30s?
If you can believe that Cornell was the national champion football team. But, yeah.
Do y'all have keepsakes from that as a family? Does he have jerseys or helmets or rings?
I actually don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask my grandma. But I would be interested to know that, but I haven't seen anything, no.
That is pretty wild. So you're a Massachusetts guy.
Yep.
Red Sox fan?
I am. I live in Connecticut now, but I was born in Mass. My dad grew up in Mass, so big Boston sports fan.
Right.
Patriots, Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox.
So you've lived a really tough life
really
as a
tough
professional
life.
sports fan.
Yeah. Only 15 championships in my life.
Dude, it's so brutal. So we're from Louisiana. The only professional sports team is the Saints. So I'm a Yankees guy. My dad was from New Orleans, Yankee guy. I love Mickey Mantle and all that sort of stuff. So Boston winning lately has sucked for me tremendously. But you've lived a charmed life as a sports fan.
Yeah, I'd like to think that at least my dad grew up watching a terrible Patriots team, and now I get to kind of live a childhood that he didn't get to.
Hey, man.
But I'm not worried. I'm not complaining about it.
Kevin Falk?
Yeah.
LSU guy?
Yeah.
Patriots Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You got memories watching him play?
Yeah, I was a little young when I was watching him, but he's definitely a beast.
Makes me feel really old when you say you're too young to have watched Kevin Falk play. Look, man, everybody's watching. Obviously, you play. We got to see you play against LSU last year, and it was a miserable game for us. People who cover LSU, and I went to LSU, but was that game, and what you remember of it? Did that feel like a statement for you all? Because it felt like that was the one where you went, "Oh, this ain't like what you think Kentucky is or was."
That was the first game where we really felt like, on offense at least, that we were just firing on all cylinders. And where every part of our game plan was just working for us. And that gave us a lot of confidence going into the rest of the year. I mean, I think we lost the next few games, but I think that was just a glimpse of what we were able to do. And we really, on every single play on that game, we had the utmost confidence that we were going to make the play and get the first down or score or what have you. And just a really fun game, probably my most fun game that we had last year.
When you obviously, I think most people know you started at Penn State and transferred to Kentucky. Like, what was that? I've heard tons of stories about Coach Stoops and the recruiting process and what all that's like and how he likes to build his program. What was that like whenever you were being courted by Kentucky that made you think that was the opportunity?
I think when I entered the transfer portal, Kentucky was one of the first teams I heard from. And first of all, just the opportunity to play in the SEC and to play against the best competition in the country and to prove myself as a quarterback that could play at that level was huge for me. And then doing more research on Kentucky, not really knowing much about them other than that they beat us when I was a freshman at Penn State in the Citrus Bowl.
The Citrus Bowl, that's right.
Talking to Coach Stoops, talking to Coach Cohen at the time and the rest of the staff, understanding the philosophy and just the grit and determination and the aspirations for the program, I wanted to be a part of that. And I wanted to be a staple and someone who can bring the program to the heights that we know that it can get to. And last year was a good stepping stone for that, but we're just looking to do bigger things this year.
Yeah, look, I mean, every year when the media comes to this event, right, we always have to do our order of finish. We make the media predictions, and most of the time everyone picks Alabama in the West and Georgia in the East. It's probably what's going to happen again this week. But what's really interesting is I think we've seen a noticeable change of perception around Kentucky because I think most people are going to pick you all right behind Georgia in the East, which feels different. Do you feel expectation? Like, I know you haven't been there for 4 years or anything, but, like, do you feel a change in the perception and the expectation around the program?
Yeah, I definitely see it.
Does that make sense?
No, it definitely does, but I don't think it really changes much. I think that our mentality and how we approach every single day in the facility is going to be the same, whether we're last place or first place. So if anything, it's cool. That means there's high expectations for us, and that just gives us motivation to work hard to meet and exceed those expectations. Second place isn't good enough for us. We want to be first, So we know we can beat any team if we play to the ability that we can, and the SEC is a tough conference. Anybody can win on any given day, and we got to make sure we keep the right mentality so that we can win as many games as we can.
Will Levis with us for a couple more minutes. Do people still mess up how to pronounce your name?
Yeah, no, it's pretty.
Seriously?
I mean, I get Levi's just with the jean company and all that, but I get Levis a lot. A lot of people say Lewis because you see Lewis a lot, you don't see Levis a lot, and the V kind of looks like a W, and they over. So it's Levis, and I just want to make that clear.
Pronounce my last name.
Matt Moscona.
Moscona. It's a long O.
Scona,
like a breakfast scone. So I guess my point is I can empathize. Like,
yeah, 100%.
I have been – no one ever pronounced – there's so many vowels.
Yeah.
Like, someone's going to mess up a vowel somewhere along the way. So do you just in your life just roll with it, or do you correct people?
I definitely correct people.
You do?
Yeah, I want my family's name to be represented correctly.
Sure.
So.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
23, so I'm 40. Maybe I've just been beaten down with it my whole life. I'm like, just call me whatever. Call me Sam. I really don't even care what you call me at this point. Man, look, I don't know. Do you pay attention to the mock drafts?
I see them, but I don't really pay too much mind to it.
Yeah. Is it cool? I mean, you're basically in everybody's first round now. Is that cool?
It's cool. No, it's cool. I think at the very least I can acknowledge it and say it's cool, but then I really just have to kind of throw it away and not let it affect how I prepare. I got people hitting me up all the time when a mock draft or whatever comes out, whether it's friends or family, and it's exciting for them, so I get it, but I don't really want to see that stuff. I want to just focus on what the task at hand is, which is getting this team ready for a great season, and I know that as long as I just take care of everything on a team level, all the individual stuff will fall into place afterwards.
What do you expect today, because as you're just getting started today, what do you think you're going to be asked the most today?
Probably that question.
The mock draft question,
yeah,
do you think?
Just like expectations or like how you deal with all that or whatever. Probably already been asked that a few times.
I believe it. As I saw, you made your way down Radio Row. But there's some things that are just unavoidable, right, that have
100%.
to be asked. So it is I think it's going to be fascinating to watch the Kentucky Wildcats play this year. I think most people know Chris Rodriguez is back as well. You've got an opportunity to be a really dynamic offense. I mean, do you all set goals? Like, do you set numbers goals for yourself?
No. I mean, I think we just have a team goal right now, which is to be back here in December for the SEC championship and win that. And that's what we break it down in almost everything we do. And like I said, I mean, it's going to take individual efforts and great individual performances and numbers to get there. But I know that if we just keep that goal in mind, we know what we do and how we prepare is going to be in line with that, then all that stuff will take care of itself.
You've looked at your schedule.
Yeah.
It really plays in your favor.
100%, yeah. I think
it's not crazy to think Kentucky will be a New Year's Six team this year.
No doubt. And we have that confidence in ourselves. I think playing Georgia at home especially, that's going to be awesome to have our fans be there for that. I know they're really excited about that one, but we're just going to take it 1 week at a time. We got Miami, Ohio first week, and that's what we got to worry about right now, and we're not going to worry about anything else until we get to that week.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're online at lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. You know where to find them, lainsurance.net. Tell you every single day right now, we all know the inflation numbers. We know what's happening with our economy. Everyone right now is looking for ways to either make more money or save money. Maybe you can start with your insurance. It's so easy. Just call Insurance Network of Louisiana. They will shop independently for free to get you better coverage for less money. Call today, 293-0450. It really is that easy. There's no catch. They take some information about your current insurance coverage, and then they go shop independently for free to see if they can find better coverage than you currently have. It costs you nothing. If they're able to save you money, great, switch, and you save money. I've told you about AFR listeners that have saved thousands annually on their insurance coverage. You have nothing to lose. Literally, the only thing you have to lose is just the time it would take you to go make that phone call. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 90.
live from the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, presented by Hudco Roofing. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, presented by Flucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
We are back from Radio Row here at SEC Football Media Days. Joined now by the quarterback of the Arkansas Razorbacks, KJ Jefferson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
It's our pleasure, man. How's your day been?
My day's been fun, full of excitement. I mean, first time being here, SEC Media Days, first time in Atlanta, so really, doing a little sightseeing while I'm down here, and I mean, I'm just enjoying it all, embracing it all.
Man, you had a really good year last year. By the way, can I check the ring real quick?
Oh yeah,
I love it, man. So this is the Outback Bowl ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Show our audience right there who are watching. So Sam Pittman was asked about this earlier. He said, why did he give the team Outback Bowl rings? He said, because I wanted to, because our guys hadn't experienced it yet. What did it mean to win 9 games, to get to that bowl game and win it?
Well, it meant a lot. I mean, we knew what was at stake and what all it took for us to get to 9 games, and also just being able to not go to a bowl game last year because it got canceled, and now to be able to actually experience a bowl game and having the young guys that came in and actually go through that process and actually experience going out of town and actually competing for another trophy game. So just being able to have that, and then just also just coming from where we come from in the past. I mean, Arkansas just getting it back to what it used to be, and now just this program just showing that it's on the rise.
21 touchdowns and 4 interceptions last year. I actually have a wager with a buddy who does radio in Arkansas as to whether or not you're going to be a Heisman finalist this year.
Mm-hmm.
You thought about that at all this year?
I haven't.
Really?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't.
What do you set personal goals like yardage, touchdown? Do you? Is that something that you think about before the season?
I used to, but now it's more of like it's just on the fly. Like I look at it and like see how many yards I have and see how many touchdowns I have, and I just in my head just know like I just keep a count like, okay, I'm like 3 touchdowns away from breaking this or 2 touchdowns for having this much. So, I mean, I look at it. I mean, I set personal goals just for like myself, like just on the account of just like me being the best version of myself. So.
So what are team goals then?
Team goals for me is like just being just a great teammate, a great leader, just being able to just make sure I put my teammates in the best position to win. Also just being able to just we go out there and just be successful. I mean, that's the main thing. Just keep doing what we're doing, keep working hard, and hard work, it'll eventually play out. So.
KJ Jefferson's with us here for a couple more minutes. We kind of looked up and down the schedule, and we actually talked about it earlier with Sam Pittman, how it's the toughest schedule in America. Man, why y'all keep getting the toughest schedule in America?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's the toughest schedule, but also it can be fun as well. I mean, we always like a challenge, so I mean, being able to have the toughest schedule, I mean, people start to doubt us and voice their opinion. So I mean, just being able to just take their opinions and the doubts that they have on us and just build it into motivation and add fuel to the fire just to go out there and prove the world wrong that it can be done.
What have you had to answer the most today? Like we're at the end of the day for you. This might be your last one. So you've been doing. I mean, what you've been at for 4 hours now. What have you been peppered with the most?
I've been peppered with the receiver thing. I would say with the Traylon Burks, him leaving. What do I think about who stepped up or who the next big guy?
What do you say?
The whole receiver room.
The whole room?
The whole room. Just because those guys are competitors. And at the standard that we compete at Arkansas, it just makes everybody a whole lot better. So when those guys get their opportunity, I know they're going to maximize their opportunity. And if something was to happen, the next guy up, I mean, he's already ready. There's no getting ready. He's already prepared just by the way they compete each and every day.
Y'all play 3 trophy games every year. A&M, the Southwest Classic is what we call the A&M game, Battle Line Trophy against Missouri, the boot against LSU. Which one means the most to you? All right, let me ask you a different way. Which trophy do you like the best? Like just the aesthetic of the trophy.
I would say probably that boot pretty nice, but I think for me it had to be the Southwest Classic.
Isn't it like big? It's like interwoven, like silver, like that. Why do you like
Which
it?
one?
The
sidewalk cast. Yeah, it's unique how they got it set up. Like, they got both teams, the teams on each side with the little football in the middle. So it's pretty unique, and also it's being played at Jerry's World. I mean,
yeah, man.
So last year was my first year going there and being able to play there and participate in the game. So being able to be a part of that and actually win the trophy, I mean, it meant a lot.
Is y'all going to go to BYU this year?
We are.
What do you think about that?
I don't even know what BYU is. I think somebody told me it was like in Utah.
It's in Utah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a pretty long flight. But, I mean, it should be fun. I mean, it's going to be different for everybody. I don't think nobody been out there, so it's going to be pretty different for everybody, but it's also going to be fun. But we also going down there on a business trip as well and to handle business. So, but it should be fun.
Air's thin up there, man.
Yeah, it is.
You take some deep breaths, man. Can a lot of people this week? Look, everybody here is going to pick Alabama to win the West, and they're going to pick Georgia to win the East. That's just what the media does, right? I mean, benefit of the doubt, they've won a bunch. But I think everyone right now, especially with the West, is going, all right, who's next behind Alabama? And just being around here so far for 3 days, most people are saying Arkansas. Does it feel any different this year for you where you're actually going to be dealing with expectation as opposed to the lack of a better word, underdog?
It is because, I mean, as a team, as a program, we all know that we're not sneaking up on anybody no more. Mm-hmm. We got a target on our back now. So with that being said, I mean, we all just established that work mentality and going back to work and getting over that hump. I mean, we know we can win 9 games. So now the hump is for us is the 10, 11, 12. Can we make that jump? Can we make that leap? So, I mean, coming out for the bowl game and just going into spring and summer workouts, I mean, we just only been preaching championship mindset and elite mindset. So just being able to just have everyone buy into that process and also just everyone believe and know that we can be able to get over that hump if we all stay together.
What was it like beating LSU in overtime last year?
That was pretty crazy. I mean, just going. It was crazy. I say it's crazy because going into LSU. I mean, going into a hostile environment like LSU, and it was pretty amazing and pretty fun. So just being able to go down there and also just still a victory down there in overtime from those guys. I mean, it was truly amazing, and just to see my teammates rush to go get their boot was also pretty surreal.
Oh man, that boot. But that boot is sat on the field at Tiger Stadium after games so many times, man. LSU's going to have to go win it back in up in Fayetteville this year. They'll have to get past this guy, KJ Jefferson. Man, it's a pleasure. Before you go, I'd like to ask guys about the fit. What went into putting it together today?
Actually, because Dillard's came, so they had all the colors laid out. So I had every color. So I went with the navy with the light pattern in it.
I like it
because it was different. So I went with that.
It looks like it's got some texture in it. It looks really good.
Yeah, I was gonna pull out my other suit, but I was like, I'm gonna save it. So,
wait, what's up with the other suit?
It's a little exclusive. I ain't want to pull that out today. I just wanted to come a little simple today. So, but I mean,
the Carry-On Joyner from South Carolina came through here yesterday with a peach suit on.
Oh yeah,
peach suit, open collar. It was looking sharp, man.
Oh yeah. Now first game, I'm gonna come with a little something. I'm gonna come with a little drip first game, and then we're gonna go from there.
All right, he's KJ Jefferson, quarterback of the Hogs, man. Good luck to you this season. I appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.
AFR.
I am so thrilled to welcome Schutz Electric to the AFR family. Generac automatic standby generators. When the power goes out, your Generac home standby generator from Schutz Electric goes to work. CESofLA.com. CESofLA.com. Last year during Ida, we lost power for nearly a week. So many of you lived that again. That was the last straw for me and my family. Actually, it was the last straw for Erica. She was like, get a generator. So we did. We got an automatic standby generator from Generac over with the folks at Schutz Electric. And the great thing about Schutz is last year after Ida, when generators were so hard to come by and everybody was trying to get them, John Schutz did an amazing thing. He went and bought a whole bunch of them, even though they were on months-long order. Well, now they have a ton of inventory, and they are ready to install, and they only use in-house installers. It's more affordable than you think for a Generac home standby generator from Schutz Electric. Look them up online, CESofLA.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
The best things in summer are unofficial.
Live from the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, presented by Hudco Roofing. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
We continue from Radio Row here at SEC Football Media Days. The defending champs are here, the Georgia Bulldogs. And what a pleasure to be joined by a Louisiana guy, Sedrick Van Pran, a guy a lot of Louisiana fans got to know well throughout the recruiting process, picked the Bulldogs, worked out so far for you. How are you, man?
Yes, sir. I'm good, and you? Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. By the way, my grandfather is a Warren Easton alum.
Yes, sir.
From 1956, I think, somewhere around there.
Shout out to your granddad.
How about that, man?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
He, in the 50s, got to play in some, New Orleans League All-Star game. They tore up his knee and never played again.
That's sad, but I'm glad he got to go to Easton. Easton's great.
Easton was good to our family for sure back in the day. Man, but what's it been like for you just in this offseason, the high of winning the national championship?
Haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Like I tell people, it was over Wednesday morning when I went to class. We won Monday night. I talked to my family until 5 in the morning. Wednesday, when I was in class, it was over. I'm pretty sure I worked out either that week or the very following week after. So it's been over for a while now, and I'm really just trying to focus on making sure that I can lead this team and put my teammates in the best possible position to help us win.
Your story is also an interesting one because you redshirted.
Yeah.
And then there was a question as to whether or not you'd be the starter.
Yes,
and then you go start every game in a national championship season. When did you feel comfortable? When did you feel like it's my job?
Probably during camp. Unfortunately, Warren Erickson gets hurt. I forgot what he hurt. I think it was his hand or something. I forgot. Anyways, unfortunate. I really didn't want to win the position that way, not at the expense of somebody else. But I think I got comfortable in camp because we were in walkthroughs, getting ready to start our first practice, and Quay Walker comes up to me and is like, "Hey, I believe in you. Go kill it. We know you can do it." And it was like, okay. From that point forward, senior linebacker leader tells me he believes in me. What else do I have to worry about?
You also changed quarterbacks last year.
Yeah.
Last year at this event, we were chatting with JT Daniels.
Yeah.
And he was going to be the guy. And then, of course, he had an unfortunate injury, and Stetson took over. As a center, when you have that battery, almost like a pitcher and a catcher, center and quarterback, is that difficult whenever you have a different guy there under center?
No, it's not difficult because the reason is I think everybody on the team has a lot of trust, a lot of belief in all of the guys on our roster. So, last year we believed in JT. Unfortunately he gets hurt. Stetson has to step in. We believe in Stetson. And it's just like this year. We have unbelievable amount of trust in Carson Beck, Brock Vandegrift, Gunner if that needs to be. But, ultimately I think we have a culture where we believe all in each other because we all see the work that we all put in.
Yeah. Sedrick Van Pran is with us. How close were you to picking LSU?
How close was I? Well, I believe they were in my top 8 or something like that. And I'm going to be honest, I really did like LSU. It would have been great to stay home. But ultimately, I felt like I made the best decision for myself and my family.
You're a national champion.
Yes, sir.
Earlier today, we got to listen to Kirby talk, and he said something that was interesting to me anyway, because he talked about so much about complacency. I'm sure this is what y'all talk about a ton. And he said over and over again, complacency isn't the problem. Mm-hmm. So the problem is experience. Well, you lose 15 guys to the NFL draft, which is a modern draft record, makes a little bit of sense. Do you feel like that is the big question with this team? Do you agree with your coach that it's an experience issue right now?
I wouldn't say issue, but I definitely think it's a realistic thing to be addressed. But also, too, I think we have an unbelievable opportunity coming into fall camp, that those younger guys will be able to learn and those guys will be able to grow up some. So is it a reality? Yes, but ultimately I don't think it's necessarily a problem, I would say. But I definitely think it gives some younger guys the opportunity to learn and move forward.
You excited to open up against Oregon?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, I would be excited to play against anybody.
Okay.
Maybe we get to play football again.
Okay. It's the big kickoff classic games. You'll be in the Chick-fil-A kickoff classic against Oregon. Dan Lanning, the former Georgia assistant, is now the Oregon head coach. There's a lot of storylines there. I think it's good for college football to see those big games there at the beginning of the season. What all do you all address as internally, not the coaching staff, but as player leadership between now and the start of the season in that game? I mean, what is your message to each other?
Take it serious. I think that's the biggest message. Make sure that you are doing everything that you possibly can throughout this summer, once we get to the week, camp, whatever it may be, but make sure you are doing everything you can to optimize your opportunities to make sure that you're not the one that lets down your brother. And I know that sounds harsh at times, but it's just the reality. Nobody wants to be the guy that lets their brother down. So it's like, do what you can now to make sure you're not even put in that situation.
Who's the hardest guy you had to block last year?
Hardest guy at the block? All of them. All of them.
You got to give me a name.
All of them.
Okay, what was the game where you're like, man, that was tough?
In season?
Any.
That's tough. I'm going to say Jordan Davis gave me a lot of problems.
It was my next follow-up was like, what was it like blocking Jordan Davis?
Jordan Davis gave me a lot of problems, especially as a freshman. But like I tell people, at the end of the day, those guys get good because they practice against other guys too. They're not playing against scrubs, so they get you better and you get them better. And that's just how I go. Iron sharpens iron. So
he's also a 360-pound dude that runs a 5.
Yeah, definitely Jordan Davis, definitely Devontae Wyatt, and definitely Jalen Carter. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I can literally say all of them, but it was tough. It was a war every day in practice.
You miss food at home?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
What do you love to eat?
I eat a lot of stuff.
At home.
At home. I definitely go to, I don't know if you know what Golden Wings is.
Okay.
Go to Golden Wings and New Orleans Food and Spirit in Harvey. Get the voodoo rolls, get the shrimp platter.
My God, West Bank, represent.
Yeah. I'm not from there, but I do go over there. You know, shout out to the West Bank. You know, I got love for y'all, but I definitely go over there to get some food for sure.
So what do you eat then in Athens? Is food not good there?
No. I mean, it's decent. It's not New Orleans. Like, I think nobody in the country holds a candle to New Orleans, but
not even close.
I think you definitely learn to suffice, because ultimately I'm not there for the food. Like, I'm there to better myself and give my family opportunity to, you know, create a name for ourselves. So definitely you learn to suffice. I'll say I eat a lot of mama noodles. I don't know if you know what that is, mama noodles. From here and there, I may make a hot sausage sandwich. You know,
love it, dude. It's so you can tell, man. When people talk about their food in Louisiana, it's just different. You know what I mean?
Different.
It's just different the way people talk about their food. Sedrick Van Pran, before you go, you want to play Alabama again?
Do I want to play Alabama again?
They're not on the regular season schedule, so you'd have to play them in the postseason.
I mean, that's a tough answer, because I think as a competitor, did my mic just go off?
I got you.
Yeah, I just did something.
I got you. Go ahead. You're good.
Okay, there we go.
I got you. You're good.
I think as a competitor, you know, you always look forward to games like that, because I think it's very competitive and things like that. But if I'm being honest, I really want to play whoever's next on the schedule. Like, I think as a competitor, you take every game seriously, and you understand that, you know, this is who we're playing, whether it be, you know, Oregon or Kentucky. You know, all of these guys are really good teams. So it's like, we don't have the luxury to look forward to any specific team. We have to make sure we handle what we have to handle here.
It's a very, very veteran answer, for sure. Tell me about your fit before we got. I love asking everybody about how they chose what they wore. You went traditional gray suit, white tie, white shirt, power red tie. We went into it.
So I went gray. I really wasn't sure what color suit I wanted to do, but I felt like gray was safe.
Okay.
I felt like gray was good. I knew I was going to do a white shirt, and at first I was going to wear a red and black striped tie.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I can tie in the white and the black with the fragment threes, right?
Look
but then
at
I was
that,
just
man.
like, you know what, like,
dude, put your foot up, show the kicks to the camera, let them see.
Let me see if I can get it up here.
Dude, you brought the game strong.
Yeah, they're a little dirty from walking around today, so I'm gonna have to clean them when I get home.
You can tell that's a shoe.
Yeah,
that's a dude who he's a sneakerhead. Yeah, he's worried about it being dirty.
I definitely have to go home and wash these. But
what size?
These may be a 14, but I wear anywhere between a 13 and a 14. That's my comfortable spot. I'm good there, but. Yeah, so I knew I was going to wear these to incorporate the white and black, but I don't know. I woke up this morning. I called one of my mentors, Miss Leduff. She works at Easton. I called her, and, you know, she was like, you know, I definitely think you should go red tie because stripes don't do well on TV. So
smart lady. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, also my girlfriend told me that, too. So it was like, yeah, I kind of have no choice here.
Oh, I love it. Sedrick Van Pran, it's a pleasure, man. Good luck to you this season. Continued success.
God bless. Appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Yes, sir.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, and sports on TV. What more could you possibly want? How about sandwiches? Well, they've got those. What about salads? Pluckers actually has really underrated salads. Giant, gorgeous, fresh salads. You can actually eat healthy at Pluckers. Or you could just binge. Award-winning jumbo chicken wings tossed in your favorite sauce. You want to create your own menu item? Do it. They encourage the creativity. Great sides as well, like the cheese fries, the El Guapo dip, maybe the homemade blue cheese potato chips, holy macaroni, fried pickles. They got it all at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. The best place to watch the game, which game? Any game, is at Pluckers, because you can eat wings, drink beer, and watch sports on TV. Remember, at Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
At Rejuvame, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy, giving you the energy you need for all life's challenges. We can help get your day started. 1-2, 1-2.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite.
Live from the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, presented by Hudco Roofing. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Flucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Remember, by the way, just a quick reminder for those of you interested, normally Wednesday, T-Bob and I do Scone and Tea. Putting that on hold this week. Obviously, we're here, so we'll be back at Oliver Twist a week from tonight for Scone and Tea. So tomorrow, if you're not familiar, by the way, with what we do, tomorrow's schedule for Media Day wraps up at 1:50. The whole day ends at 1:50. Jimbo Fisher is the last to go on the main stage, the last coach on the main stage, and he finishes at 1 p.m. So Hester and T-Bob will be live here from Radio Row tomorrow morning. What we do in the afternoon, since the event is over by the time the show airs tomorrow afternoon, is we record, technical industry term, we record as much of the show as we can, as many interviews as we can, and then back in studio at home in Baton Rouge, they'll play a lot of the content from the final day of SEC Media Days while we travel back home, and then I'll be back in studio. We'll all be back in studio live on Friday, and we'll look forward to it. So I'll kind of come back and recap the day, but a quick sort of heads up of what's coming tomorrow at SEC Media Days. Brian Harsin and the Auburn Tigers get things started. Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Volunteers will go second, and then Jimbo Fisher and the Texas A&M Aggies, they will be the final team to take their turn at SEC Football Media Days. And it's always very appropriate that the league office makes sure that whoever is the last team on the last day is a team with a lot of very interesting storylines to try to get as many people as possible to stay for the entirety of the event. Usually, when this is in the state of Alabama, usually it's either Auburn or Alabama on the last day. And in this instance, obviously, with both Auburn, Tennessee, and Texas A&M, 3 power programs in the league, and with a lot of interest around Jimbo Fisher, the Aggies, NIL, and all of that conversation, that's going to be a big part of the day. The other thing that is obviously very relevant for the final day of SEC Media Days, if you've not yet heard, one of the Texas A&M players that was scheduled to be here, and I say is Ainias Smith, the wide receiver. Well, Ainias Smith was arrested and charged with driving while intoxicated, unlawful carrying of a weapon, and possession of less than 2 ounces of marijuana. As a result of his arrest, he will not be here at SEC Media Days tomorrow. He has been suspended indefinitely from the football team. So I don't know if that means they will find a replacement. I'll remind you, and this is kind of an oddity just considering the circumstance, but back in 2011, Jordan Jefferson was supposed to be here representing LSU at SEC Media Days. And they had the Shady's bar fight, as you might recall, and I might have the timing of this off because I think the Shady's bar fight was at the end of fall camp, so it may not align, but there was something that happened on where there was a player that was supposed to be here, maybe got in trouble, and I'm almost positive that T-Bob actually wound up being the last-minute fill-in at Media Days. I'm fairly certain that was 2011, but so I don't know if Texas A&M is going to find a replacement for Ainias Smith or if they're just going to bring the other 2 players, Damani Richardson and Layden Robinson, which is, I would assume, considering the circumstances, a possibility for Texas A&M. But I guess we'll wait and find out tomorrow. There hasn't been anything official from Texas A&M as to whether or not they plan to bring a 3rd player or if it's just going to be the 2 that had previously been scheduled to show up here at Media Days. But the Thursday slate is, and by the way, I mean, the Ainias Smith news is significant. I mean, you're talking about A&M's leading returning receiver. Last year, he had 47 catches for 509 yards and 6 touchdowns. If you're not familiar, he's the sort of shorter, he's 5'10", the shorter receiver who wears number 0. So that's significant as you're working in a new quarterback there in College Station, be it Haynes King or Max Johnson, whoever it might be. Not having him on the field, if it is for any length of time, that's significant for that offense with so much expectation. But clearly, with Jimbo coming here tomorrow and with what happened with Nick Saban earlier this offseason, a large portion of the conversation is going to center around NIL and the spat with Nick and Jimbo's comments, and he's going to have to answer it in every room and tomorrow with every microphone that's in front of his face, and he will be prepared for it. He'll have his standard answer, but it's going to still be interesting to hear what he has to say about it because NIL has been such a part of this conversation this week with everybody who has been on the main stage. So why would it be any different for the guy who's made the most interesting NIL comments this entire offseason? So that will certainly follow Jimbo. But also, the conversation around A&M is also going to center around the expectation around Texas A&M. Because aside from the COVID year where they won 9 games and won the Orange Bowl, we all know the joke. Texas A&M, Texas 8-4. I mean, it's what people are calling because they just can't. I mean, even a year ago when you beat Alabama, you still lose 4 games. And at some point, you've got to take the step. And it feels like year 5 is the time where you got to take the step. And listen, this isn't anything that's new to any of you, but if you just think about, look at LSU's titles. Nick won it in year 4. Les won it in year 3. Ed won it in year 3. Kirby got there sooner. It took him a little longer. It took him until his second stint there, his second appearance in the championship game to win it. But Kirby took the Georgia job back in 2016, and in his 3rd season, he was in the national championship game. And then by the time 2021 rolled around, he won it. But it was his second season. It wasn't his 3rd season. It was 2nd season in 2017 when he played for the national title and they lost it. But if you're A&M, with all the resources you've invested in Jimbo, and now with the hype around the recruiting class, eventually you've got to take the step, and it feels like this might be the year. And if it's not this year, that number one signing class that you just had, when they're a year further into their career next year, maybe that's what you could make the case for year 6 under Jimbo, but you expect a step forward at some point. Maybe this is the year. Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Vols will also take the stage tomorrow here at SEC Football Media Days, and for me, they are the scariest team in the SEC. And they're the scariest team in the SEC, certainly the East, and I would say Ole Miss is in the West. And we went through Ole Miss's schedule earlier this week, why Ole Miss has a very favorable schedule. Like, the more I think about how I might predict order of finish in the West, I might lean Ole Miss because of their schedule. They obviously have a big question at quarterback, but I just trust Lane Kiffin that they're going to score a lot of points. And just go look at their schedule. Like, their schedule lines up to where Ole Miss should have a really solid season. The same thing could be said for Kentucky, which is probably why I'll put Kentucky in the number 2 spot in the East, because their schedule shapes up for it. But I still think Tennessee is the scariest because they have that's the team that can win on any Saturday. When you have that type of offensive firepower, I'm not saying you will win or you're favored to win, but you can win against anybody on your schedule. Could Tennessee, at home against Alabama, throw offenses that have given Alabama trouble over the years, that spreads out, could they spread it out, sling it around, score 45 and win a 45-41 game? Sure. Could they do the same in Baton Rouge? Sure. Will they? Probably not. Could they do it in Athens? Sure. Will they? I mean, probably not, but the schedule, I don't think, shapes up for Tennessee to get to double digits, but I think there's enough winnable games on that schedule. They open against Ball State, then they're at Pitt. Pitt's going to be interesting this year, obviously, as they've got Keaton Slovis, the transfer from USC, as their quarterback. Now the game is in Pittsburgh. They're going to face Akron, then they're home against Florida, at LSU, home against Bama. Right there is going to tell you the season. Home against Florida, at LSU, home against Bama. What Tennessee does there sets the stage for their October-November run, because they play Tennessee Martin, then they're home against Kentucky, at Georgia, home against Missouri, at South Carolina, at Vanderbilt. And they may flip-flop wins and losses and end up somewhere around 6 or 7 wins, which is likely. But I also think that at some point during the season, you're going to look and say, we're going to look back and say they will have beaten Florida or LSU or Bama or Georgia. They're going to win one of those games because Hendon Hooker is going to go throw for 450 and they're going to win it. So that's why I think Tennessee is the scariest team, certainly in the East, if not the whole conference. And then Brian Harsin will be here tomorrow, and it will be really interesting to hear how he answers the questions about his offseason. Remember, Auburn conducted its own investigation into Brian Harsin. This wasn't an external investigation. Auburn decided to investigate its own coach and darn near fired him. But he maintained his job. He kept his job, and he goes into year 2. And, they're going to have a new defensive coordinator there with Derek Mason out. And, that's just an odd circumstance, which always seems to follow Auburn, but an odd circumstance that they're going to have to answer for it. Now, Tank Bigsby is going to be here tomorrow, and Tank Bigsby and Chris Rodriguez might be the best 2 running backs in the SEC. So you have a really good start there. And Auburn's got a really veteran offensive line as well. We'll also see Derek Hall here, and John Samuel Schenker will be here representing Auburn as well, when everyone really wants to hear from the quarterbacks. But Tank Bigsby will bring some star power tomorrow with the Auburn Tigers as they're here. So that'll be the final day of SEC Media Days, Auburn, Tennessee, and then the day wraps up with Texas A&M, and we'll have the coverage for you. Of course, Hester and T-Bob will get it started tomorrow from 7 to 10 Central Time, and then we will be wheels up, and we will have plenty of great content from Day 3 at Media Days, all for you during AFR tomorrow from 3 to 6. Before I put a button on today's day, let me remind you about our friends over at the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Do what I did. Call Dr. Blake Williamson. Remember, eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. If you need your annual eye exam, get it done before the kids get back to school. Have it done for the whole family. Williamson Eye Center locations all around Baton Rouge. Eyewear. If you wear contacts or glasses, they have optical shops in all of their stores, or all their locations, so you could certainly get your glasses or your contacts there as well. But remember, eye surgery. No matter your age or your refractive issue, ophthalmology has just come so far that they have a solution for you at the Williamson Eye Center. So call 924-2020 to schedule that consultation, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com for the Williamson Eye Center. All right, y'all, it's been a great day, man. It's been a great 3 days of broadcasting. We've just had tons and tons and tons of content as just sort of these days go. If you missed it today, Peter Burns, Arkansas defensive back Jalen, Catalon, Gary Stokan, the president and CEO of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic. Frangie from 1010XL in Jacksonville. We let you hear from Will Levis, KJ Jefferson, Sedrick Van Pran from the University of Georgia, New Orleans native. You heard him earlier today as well. Or any of our content from the week from Greg Sankey and David Cutcliffe and Tony Barnhart and Takarion Joyner. Just been a really, really fun week broadcasting here from Radio at SEC Football Media Days, and we appreciate you for being with us. So if you missed anything, of course, AFR On Demand, you can check it out, presented by Brett Golf, or you can check out the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel to catch AFR and everything that you missed there. I'd be remiss if I didn't once more before I personally sign off from Radio Row Live here without thanking Hudco Roofing. My partners at Hudco wanted to be a part of our coverage here at Radio Row and committed to doing so, and we were thrilled to bring you the coverage all week. If you need roof repair, roof replacement, we can help you out. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. And, of course, Rejuvenate Medical, Jerry Lane, and DraftKings Sportsbook, presenting sponsors as well here. All right, Muse, Paulie back in studio. Appreciate y'all's hard work while we've been here. Hester and T-Bob will wrap up our coverage live from Radio Row tomorrow morning. We'll have plenty of coverage from tomorrow, day 4 at Media Days from 3 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see you then.
AFR.
All right, as we get on down the road, we remind you about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com, new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen. You know where to find them. They're at Airline just north of Highland, or you can find them online at southpointvw.com. Go to the website. Super easy to use inventory search. If it's on the lot, it's online. No worries about, well, this car is listed, but if I go there, are they actually going to have it? Yes. If it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com. So use the inventory search by year, make, model, body style, color, price, whatever metrics that you want to use to narrow down your search, you can do, or criteria to narrow down your search, you can do that to find the vehicle that you're looking for, and if they don't have it, they can get it. South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, Airline, just north of Highland, or online at southpointvw.com. That's South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment.